Loud.
Yeah, no, there's a countdown live in 640. Or 645.
Yeah, so I guess we just have to wait these few minutes.
Okay.
That sucks. Turn Bluetooth off before the phone messes stuff up. Thankfully, they're still doing the pregame stuff. Let me find some background music while we're waiting. That's loud. Oh, that's you.
Oh, yeah, that was me. I was playing off my button.
Get this low enough to where it's not going to be distracting. Is that too loud?
I can't even really hear it.
Okay.
It's very faint in the background. Oh, wait. Now it looks like we're live.
Are we?
It looks like we're live now. Yeah.
I see it spinning.
Yeah, we're live.
Oh, you know what?
Ubi just said, yo. What's up, Ubi? So I guess we're live.
This is... Yeah, I see us.
Yeah, Ubi, YouTube is the culprit here. Not
Yeah, we were on time and dressed. Let me go over here.
Glad we stopped saying all that racist stuff before we realized we were live.
Yeah, I know. I was just trying to explain stuff, and you know what came up.
That's shocking to me because you're black.
That's the last time I'm going to play that one tonight.
The whole diatribe about the 5%ers.
And that concludes our show for tonight. I don't want to get my stuff burned down. Should I keep the chat up?
Yeah, I think so. Unless it disrupts Kendall when he jumps in.
I think he'll be all right because it's going to make us smaller. And
okay.
Yeah, we'll.
Hey, Deez.
Thank you for being here and not coming too early because we were having technical difficulties due to no fault of our own.
No.
And Dave is over here nervous.
About my team, yeah.
It's just a game.
I know it's just a game, but life is so devoid of meaning that we ascribe meaning through things like sports. It gives us a sense of personal.
I watch Shark Tank. So I already know my team sucks. Or teams. Cowboys, the Mavericks are horrible now.
Do you ever get the sense watching Shark Tank that nobody ever wants to be picked by Damon Johns? I always get the sense that they settle for him a lot of the time.
And not only that, he's always trying. He's the most lowballing person other than Kevin, who wants the royalty deals all the time.
Yeah, well, Kevin's he's not a man of high moral standing necessarily. So he's always like he actually kind of personifies
of the.
Yeah, he personifies what the show's supposed to be about. But I feel like people just settle for Damon John.
And Airstream, I don't even know why I'm here. I have to ask my sister what sport the Nuggets and Thunder play.
Well, that means a lot, Michelle, that you would check in with us despite, and we're not going to spend a whole lot of time talking about the game because we know what you could say, right?
Yeah, I mean, we're watching it. You guys should watch it.
Yeah.
Just turn the sound down and then you can see. Maybe this will be like a stepping stone or something for us. Like some random person will see it on a replay and be like, hey, those guys, you got something going right there.
Like you said, the new Jalen and Jacoby.
Yeah. I should have made that my background instead of regular Kobe. I had Jacoby.
I don't know. That's a pretty nice background with Kobe and the Black Mamba and your avatar. What's that on the right side? Oh, we have a real broadcaster, ladies and gentlemen.
What? Who?
You,
What?
ladies and gentlemen, Kendall B.
Can you hear me? That's the biggest question. Can you hear me?
We can.
Good. That means I did it right.
And we have the chat up. So far, there's Ubi, Michelle, and Dr. Casillas.
We have as many co-hosts as we have listeners right now and watchers.
Yay!
Oh, and yep, they're doing the starting lineups.
Chet Holmgren looks frail. Like, you remember when Kevin Durant was a rookie and you're like, he's not going to last. And he's surprisingly like Chet Holmgren looks like he should be injured.
Wasn't he? He was injured all of last season, wasn't he?
Yeah, and he didn't put on, like, the steroids didn't kick in.
Well, KD is still frail. He's just old and frail now. I guess the calcium in his bones like got harder, and
It's the marijuana. There's something magical about his weed intake. He is a renowned stoner, and I think there's something to the therapeutic qualities of that has contributed to his longevity.
I will not comment on that because
Was that a YouTube violation?
no, not YouTube. I'll throw it in the private chat while I can't or won't.
They got Michael Porter Jr. playing, even though he's got one shoulder. He admitted to being the reason they lost the last couple games, and he's out there.
So did you see the private chat?
I saw it.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh,
How is Murray? I know. When I was taking my nap, Murray was supposed to be.
they said
Playing.
he's playing, but he has an illness, and they kept that vague. So I don't know if it's mononucleosis or what.
Yeah. What's the illness? Gout? What is the illness?
Gout toe.
Gouty toe.
He ate at Pete's Kitchen, and now it's rumbling.
Tia says, "Ooh, this is a man show." No, it's a basketball show.
Now
Tia.
you can't yell at me.
Tia, you could jump in though. I mean, we'd love to see you.
Absolutely.
She'll yell at me Tuesday about stuff she's mad about today.
All right. OKC off to a start. They're up 2-0. Just got the ball back.
Why you got to start negative?
I'm just doing the play-by-play.
Can we be optimistic?
Just doing the play-by. Can I? Well, I've got several negative things to say tonight, but I'll hold them for the breaks.
Kendall, there's something I want to ask you off top. So
Yeah.
a coping mechanism for me is the fact that the Nuggets have won, as evident by my novelty $100 trophy that I bought 2 years ago.
Yes.
Like,
So does Brazil. They have 5.
so like if the Nuggets lose, like I'm preparing myself emotionally for the Nuggets to lose. And my catharsis is like, okay, they've recently won. Like, I'm set.
Okay.
As a Lakers fan with 17 of them, do you still thirst for winning, or is it now just kind of cute? Like, is it amusing when they win, or is there still a real fire? Because I admit that my fire for the Nuggets has dwindled a little bit because they got one in my lifetime.
My fire gets heated up when they're, I guess you would say, at least in the past, when they're supposed to win.
Gotcha.
Now in this era of NBA basketball, supposed to win and winning are totally separate things at this point. So when they won in the bubble, I was excited. When they got to the conference finals, I said, okay, I'm excited because we pushed past the first 2 rounds. Let's go. And I figure if you're there, you might as well win it. When they made the miracle run a couple of years ago and it was against the Nuggets, I said, okay, they got this far, so you made it this far, might as well win it. So I was very disappointed when they didn't even really show up to that series. Mostly.
Now, V-Rod doesn't count the bubble championship. Do
See,
you?
now,
Is it diminished at all for you?
No, because they had to go through an entire round of playoffs, even though it was probably, some might say it was under worse conditions, because even though everybody stayed in the same place at Disney and had to play on the same courts and whatnot, it was still a very uncertain time. So they played the season they could play. It's just like playing a strike season, like was that 99, I think, when it was San Antonio and in Indiana or something, and
No,
they
they beat the
play-
Knicks after
or the
like
Knicks,
a 17 game regular season.
right?
Well,
Yeah,
the thing is, people aren't going to count it if their team didn't win it. If the Nuggets would have won the bubble championship, then you guys would be like, "Yay!"
But that's the thing. V-Rod is a Lakers fan.
V-Rod, yeah, she's a Lakers
Oh.
fan, so
Yeah,
she,
so
she should
doesn't
count that.
it. Yeah, she
Yeah.
only wants top shelf championships, not the one that you get in Orlando at the Hilton.
No, it for me it counts. It counts as one. There's no asterisk by it because you'd have to put an asterisk by the Super Bowl that year and all these other things. No, just it counts. It counts for me.
Nuggets have just given up a dunk to Lugens Dort, which is the craziest name of all time.
Lou Dort.
And Jalen, one of the 75 Jalen's in the league now, got an easy layup. So the defense is definitely at a championship level right now for the Nuggets.
I wonder if all the Jalens have like interracial parents.
It depends on how they spell their name. Is it Jaylen or Jalen or?
That's
Yeah.
a good point.
Even my saltine brother and my sister-in-law, they have they made a Jalen.
Mm-hmm.
They say Jalen, but that's Jalen.
That's just Jalen.
That's
Emphasis.
Jalen. Right. The wife tries to emphasize the Jalen, tries to like trailer it up a little bit, but we know that's Jalen.
And then Jaden is like the equivalent of that, I guess. My little great niece, her name is Jaden.
Mm-hmm.
And she's black and Chinese. So there's something about interracial stuff and
That's
Jalen and
a
Jaden.
combination, man.
Yep, the hardest working athlete in the world.
Honestly, anything and black is just great.
I wouldn't disagree with you.
I love the silence there.
And that concludes our show for tonight.
Good night, everybody.
Dave's number is 303.
Actually, I was
Hey,
trying to find the game on my big monitor here because I'm looking at it over here, but I got like 3 monitors going, so I'm trying to find the closest monitor to find the game. So I'm trying to dig it up on ESPN over here, but I can't seem to find it for whatever.
All right, we see Alex Caruso for the first time. My personal favorite white guy. Yeah. Do you prefer Austin Reeves is going bye-bye, by the way. You know that, right? They're going to trade Austin Reeves this offseason. That's the rumor.
Get stuff for him.
Yeah, who do you think?
I don't know. I've just seen reports. You know, the new dude on ESPN is Shams, right? And he's saying saying that it's a done deal that Austin Reeves is going bye-bye.
Well, I mean, that could be another Caruso situation because Caruso rose up just but so far, and then they let him go essentially. So as long as they get somebody back, Tia says, "Who am I supposed to be cheering for?"
Us.
Well,
I threw it in.
yes.
Us three.
If you love Dave, you're rooting for the Nuggets. If you just don't care, then
you're rooting for Kendall.
Well, and I'm for the Nuggets. I wore my old school David Thompson.
Yeah, Skywalker, David Thompson.
I can tell people that's my uncle. I mean, who's going to check me?
That's true.
He's not really my uncle. But yeah, so I have a history with Denver. It was like my second set of NBA season tickets. I had them in Minnesota when I first moved there. And that's when they had KG.
Okay, so it was the KG era.
Yeah, so 2000. And the way I ended up in Minnesota was I was in Hawaii and CenturyLink now. It was US West then offered me a job.
Mm-hmm.
And they gave me a choice of Seattle, Phoenix, Albuquerque, Denver, and Minneapolis. And I was like, I don't want to do Seattle. And I don't know anything about the other places. I like the Timberwolves the best out of all of those teams. So let me go to Minneapolis.
Wow.
And
it was basketball that brought you there, huh?
Yeah. Wow. And then I got transferred to Denver anyway. But the cool thing about having season tickets when I had them for Denver,
get a rebound.
We got the entire season for like $500.
Oh yeah.
And we were sitting with the families. So
was that when Kendall was the PA? He wasn't the PA yet at that point, was he?
Was that 01? 01, 02?
That was, I wasn't PA at the Nuggets until that was 02, 03.
Okay.
The year I was PA for the Nuggets. The half quarter season, however long it was.
Well, and I think we had tickets for like 3 years. When did Carmelo get drafted?
Carmelo
Okay.
was drafted in 04.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
Okay.
No, it was 03. No, you're right. It was the summer of 03.
Yeah, because it was LeBron, Darko, and then
Melo. Because Melo was supposed to go to
racist.
Detroit.
It was a guy named Darko. He wasn't from
Darko Milicic.
Darko Milicic.
Thank
Yes.
God Detroit picked him instead of Carmelo.
Nah. I kind of wish they would have picked him because then my tickets wouldn't have gone up 300%. So the first year we had Carmelo, they went up from 500 per seat to 1,500 per seat. So I was like, okay,
Wow.
we can do that.
Wow.
Then the next season, it was 3,000 per seat. I was like, well,
Wow.
we are going to enjoy the
3,000?
Nuggets.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
So when I was in college, the Nuggets were terrible. Terrible. But that was good for me as a fan because I could get a $7 ticket and I would go up in the rafters with my mini disc player and do play-by-play. And so it was $7 to get in and it was $10 to park. So it was more expensive to be outside of the game than it was to get into it. And I remember when Yao and Steve Francis were in Houston, it was so quiet in the arena and Houston was beating the Nuggets so bad. You could hear Steve Francis yelling just to the void, why would anybody ever come here? He was right.
Yeah. But then Melo and then AI came the next year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was heartbreaking because, and I went to pretty much every game too, because the random celebrity would come sit in the crowd with the family. So then you hear somebody who wasn't really well versed in where people were sitting start talking bad about the players, not knowing that their wives and moms or whatever is sitting right there. And I saw, who's my guy? The one I always mention. He had the curl. Did he have a curl?
Michael Cage?
He looked like Michael Cage. It was
AC Green?
no, it was
a player that had a curl?
maybe he just looked like he should have had a curl.
Okay.
Let me stop. Alexa, stop. So that's my 5:30 or whatever, 5:55 God hour. Congratulations on your day. What was his name? Donnell Harvey.
Oh,
Donnell Harvey.
he did look like he should have had a curl. What a great curl.
Yeah, so some guy was like calling him trash and everything. He was sitting next to his wife. And then she finally took all she could take. And it was, no. And then the guy left. I think the ushers came and made him leave. But I was like, man, that possibly could have been me if I didn't know who she was.
Yeah.
And then
Ron
Birdman's family would be sitting there. His dad had on overalls. He looked like somebody from that alligator show.
Yeah.
So
You see Snarky's comment about her going to the Nuggets games when I did the announcing.
Yeah.
She would bring she would bring books to the game because they were so bad. She would be reading books.
that was like the first time I think I saw you in person. So we were sitting there and you guys were walking out. I was like, babe, that's Kendall B. And I'm like, who? Before she started listening. So yeah, the good old days.
The Nuggets are
Nuggets
up 6 right now. 7-0 run in the last minute and 10 and 6:24 remaining in the first quarter.
Wow, Kendall.
It's like you've done this before. So.
It's kind of like I've done it before, maybe a little bit.
I was against her will yesterday explaining to V-Rod why Kevin Harlan is my GOAT. I think
I love Kevin Harlan.
I feel like he is the best, and no disrespect to Mike Breen, but I feel like Kevin Harlan should be the lead guy for the sport generally, and frankly the NFL too.
True indeed. Joker with a basket. Nuggets up 8 now. I love Kevin Harlan because of the energy he brings, and I think that he is quote unquote not the number one guy. It's just by, I don't know if it's by attrition or by network loyalty, because he works for a couple of different networks. I guess you'd say he works for Turner and then works for CBS as well. So I think if they said that if you only work for this network, you might be the number one guy. But I mean, he is the number one guy on Turner, but that's going away.
Right.
And do you know who he signed with for next year? Is he going to be on Amazon or anything? Do we know?
I haven't heard. Would he be joining NBC? Maybe?
Vice.
Oh, right.
Look that up. I was saying if there was only a device where I could look that up,
Yeah.
I would do stats and stuff like that.
No, Tia, they're not named after chicken nuggets. They're named after the gold rush. But I have to admit, as a lifelong 44-year Nuggets fan, Nuggets is the worst, least intimidating name of a team in professional sports.
You think so?
Maybe
Absolutely. It is the worst name for a franchise in the 4 major sports.
Pelicans.
Nuggets.
That's better than Nuggets are gold. I'd rather have gold than a Pelican.
Well, I mean, the Lakers are named after the lakes in Minnesota. That's not intimidating.
Well,
And the Jazz named after Jazz in New Orleans.
Right.
Ain't no Jazz in Utah.
There is now. Because of the Utah Jazz, there's actually, at least reportedly, a pretty vibrant jazz scene in Utah, in Salt Lake City. So,
are you guys getting
frying
static?
fish?
is there static or is that a shower? Is there a shower? What's that? Is that somebody in the shower?
No, I
I'm
thought
hearing
somebody
that.
was frying fish. Maybe it's the,
Is Jimmy Bo on the stream?
okay. It was the music.
Okay.
Were you playing ambient sound from the Amazon?
I was not. I was playing AI generated lo-fi music and it stopped.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay. I was wondering where that was coming from. I was
Yeah,
making
I was-
sure it wasn't me.
I was like, Doreen, I don't smell nothing cooking. Like when wife swap on Chappelle show.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go on, do your thing, girl. Let me
Jamal
see.
Murray with a mid-range jumper. Can I with Nuggets up 7 now? Can I make my first complaint of the evening?
Go for it.
Absolutely.
Because this is going to be a theme probably throughout the game. As much as I used to love NBA basketball, I say used to, like Common, I used to love her, but I have a very love-hate relationship with NBA basketball, and it's becoming that way with college. And I think you know where I'm going, as you know, watching it as a more experienced a person now. I hate the proliferation of threes. I know that's the game. I get that. People are going to say that that's, you know, the whole analytics. I hate that you will drive the ball into the lane or close to it and just circle underneath the basket and then chuck it out for somebody to shoot a three. Why don't you just go up strong for the layup or pass it out to somebody to get 2 points is 2 points.
Well, analytically, it's not a high value shot, though, right? The analytics have taken that over.
That's right. Exactly.
Steph Curry has ruined that.
Yeah. Well, see, Steph can do that, though. And I mean, now, I guess at this point, probably 75% of the league as it is because of Steph and
the Nuggets hit another 3-pointer.
and all that, because of the Golden State Warriors and their championship run and Steve Kerr and all that. 75% of the league can shoot threes.
Well, people think it looks easy now because you and Dave, you're radio professionals and you do this. And we're like, oh, we can do it too. And then we're just out here doing stuff. And
right.
So we're the rest of the league.
So, Kendall, I agree with you. And here's how big of an NBA fan I am, right? Like, that's stupid. That shouldn't be on my body, but I have it.
Wait, what was that? Was that the and one?
No, it's my
Oh, Jerry West
with my Taurus horns. You make stupid decisions when you're in your 20s. But Kendall, my issue is less with the 3-pointers because I get the analytic play, but what drives me nuts and it makes me sound like an old head is the carrying and the traveling and this nonsense of a gather step, which is only taught at no level.
Yeah.
But for some reason, it exists in NBA basketball, and that's what takes me out of it. Is it undermines the integrity of the game, the lack of calling the carry and the travel. I know that's old head talk, but you know, Jalen Brunson isn't getting 50% of the shots he gets if he's not palming the ball and holding it over here and manipulating it. And you know, we have some of the best handles we've ever seen in the history of the sport, but it's all because they're not dribbling the ball the way that you're taught. And on any other level, you know, these kids are learning the wrong way. And that feels cringy to talk like that, but that's how it feels.
But it's true. Yeah, it's very true.
AI, it kind of started with him.
Right.
So it's not just them, but I guess he's the godfather of carrying the ball.
Yeah.
And I found something, Dave.
Uh-oh.
It is your tattoo.
No, I have Jerry West. Dag nabbit. The sad thing is The reason why this tattoo is so dark is because it's covering up Goofy spinning a ball on his hand. I've made lots of bad decisions in the tattoo world.
What is the next cover up going to be for F.A.W.N guy?
I can't cover that up. It's just darkness.
Darkness.
I have a piece of petrified wood tattooed on my commercial.
Jen B says the Clippers are sailing vessels and good evening. So that's not intimidating. We were talking about non-intimidating nicknames. Yeah, the Clippers, it's boats.
It depends on the cargo.
I guess.
And I'll leave it at that.
James says context in basketball is fleeting when it comes to the team names. It's but there are probably I wouldn't bemoan the Nuggets nickname as being the worst or less intimidating because there's pretty bad ones there.
Have you ever? I'd imagine Dmitri would probably revel in this, but going to it, and Kendall, you've experienced this, but like going to an opposing arena and watching your team. I went up to Portland and I felt incognito and in Witsack because I was cheering on my little Nuggets, like, yeah. But every single person in the arena is shouting chicken nuggets the whole time. And I'm like, that's not what we are. We're gold. We're not little chicken nuggets.
Have I ever been to a hostile arena? Well, I don't know.
What was your team growing up, D? Was it
the Mavericks?
Okay, that's what I thought. Rolando Blackman.
Yep. Roy Tarpley, Rolando Blackman,
Derek Harper. Like skinny Derek Harper.
Yeah, and the reason I switched to the Bulls was because of Jordan. So he was my favorite player.
Oh yeah.
The reason that I liked the Lakers for as long as I did was because of Kobe. Right now, it's just my Dallas teams aren't great, football or basketball. So that's why I watch soccer primarily now.
Although Aikman thinks that they can win the Super Bowl this year. Did you see that?
We say that every year, though.
By the way, Nuggets up by 10 with 2:18 to go in the first quarter.
Don't jinx it.
Just giving the update. Oh, and SGA goes in for a drive and gets fouled. So
you're ahead of me.
Looks like free throws. How far ahead am I of?
Westbrook just did a Russell Westbrook.
Okay.
And now SGA is being SGA.
Okay. I didn't know how far I would be ahead. Yeah.
Mavs got the number 1 pick. Do you think that was fixed? Just like Patrick Ewing and LeBron and Kyrie and every other lottery.
I mean, number 1 pick, though, after you give away somebody like Luka, I mean.
Gave away. There were 2 willing participants. Do you think there was coercion?
A little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, you get Mr. Glass for a Luka. That's not fair.
No.
Even if, I mean, what other picks did they get, or what was the rest of that package?
It wasn't good enough for Dallas. I tell you that much. When I saw it, I said, "No, are you kidding? Luka to the Lakers for that?
They could have got Jared Vanderbilt.
Oh yeah, all day. Just bring it all day."
That's like when you know you're about to get fired, and then you go do something bad at work, like pull out all the patch cords or something and take down the network.
That's one of my regrets. The day that I got fired, I knew it was coming. And we had like 5 hours and I went home and sulked, and I could have went back in that building and destroyed their whole infrastructure. And I regret that to this day. I know Kendall will say it's good that you didn't do that, but
it's good you didn't do that, because then you would have, good you didn't.
I had a window
at the phone company, like in the group I was in, they don't let you know. They have security come up, and then your supervisor will bring a box. Because if you hit this one quick little code, you can take down an entire switch.
Wow.
It's star 54.
That's a bad system.
Yeah, because they said when I first got there, they were like, never hit star 54. It's star 54 and out the door. I guess you get fired for it.
Damn.
And they always have security there to make sure that a disgruntled person didn't take down half the city.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow.
You should have, though.
9-point lead for the Nuggets, 1:12 to go in the first quarter. D. Casillas says, me and my son are Warriors fans because of Steph. And we went to a game and the Nuggets fans were not very nice to us.
Yeah. I mean, there was a period of time, and not defending being like you really shouldn't be mean to people, especially kids and especially ladies. Like you could be mean to that drunk a-hole who's giving you that same energy, but a lot of that backlash was, just this sudden popularity. It felt very bandwagony. And obviously the kids are going to glom onto the new big thing. So, all the kids love Steph. He changed the game. It's transformative, but yeah.
And
there
he's
was
the
a lot of that.
You mentioned going to an opposing arena. Yeah, for 17 years, I was in the opposing arena because I was
Right.
not a fan of the Denver sports teams, and which turned out to be a complicated relationship that I had with the audience and even coworkers, because in media, whether you are a 5, 6, and 11 p.m. journalist, or if you are the on the street reporter, or if you're on the radio station, when you move to a city, you're supposed to be like rah rah to this team's or this city's teams. And I was never that for Denver, because I came in with all of my preconceived things, and I was always taught as a broadcaster to be genuine, especially on the radio. Now,
Right.
news, you can kind of be fakety fake about it because they don't really know a lot about your background. But when you're on the air talking for hours throughout the day, it's going to slip at some point if you're not a fan of something. So I said, I'm just going to let it fly. So I was a Raiders fan, Raiders Broncos, like this. Lakers fans, Lakers Denver, like this. Dodgers Rockies, all that.
Yeah.
So those are my teams.
Exaggerating a little bit.
Well, the Rockies have no rivals.
There was a time where they tried to start a rivalry.
True indeed. I mean, the Dodgers and Rockies have played some pretty tight games over the history. By the way, into the first quarter, it's a 3-point game. Nuggets up 3.
Yeah, Russell Westbrook single-handedly gave up a 10-point lead. Kendall, I want to comment on that though, because the way that you handled that, it was so adept, because you stayed true to who you were. You weren't faking the funk because you were trying to kowtow to the audience, but you also were not aggressive. Like, you knew that the predominant audience were Nuggets fans, and you could have really been adversarial, but playing your role on the radio, like, that wasn't your job to be the adversarial one. And right. I don't know if that's in your nature either. You're not, you know, you go out of your way to be a big trash talker, but the way that you handled that was endearing, because people would try to, get under your skin with that, and you never fell into it. And also, a lot of people in Denver are from LA. So there is a big contingency of Raiders and Lakers fans here. Those games are always, maybe not always 50-50, kind of depends on how the LA teams are doing at the time, but
right. Yeah.
The way you navigated that was brilliant.
Thank you. No, it was very interesting at times, because I would be very, at home when like my teams would play the Denver teams. And Snarky will tell you, I would always hope that my teams won, because I knew the next day I would have to go in and, hear all this from other people, because other people would always come after me, but I would always try to stay above board, but also be congratulatory if the Denver team wound up winning. And that happened on many occasions, especially with the Broncos and Raiders. And then when, the Raiders had their run, it was good. And when the Broncos had their run, it was good. But I never got involved. There was only one time where I got involved in a bet, and where I would have had to have done something stupid. And if my team had lost, it was a Broncos Raiders bet. And I think I won the bet. So I believe Mr. Ulibarri had to ride around in his car with a Raiders banner for the entire day. That was the thing.
Okay.
But I forgot what my penalty was supposed to be, but I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to play that game, because first, I'm not a big fan of humiliation. Number one. Number two, just, it's silly radio stuff, but it was fun. It was when you have the good rivalry, the good conversation about it, and you're able to actually talk sports and talk about the history of it, instead of just some nonsense or some crazy over the top fans doing the things, which is what fandom is, being really crazy and over the top. That's when it really served me well.
Well, I'm just imagining you like making a mistake while you're at the game instead of like Marcus Camby with 2. You're like Marcus Camby, like they do at the away games or whatever. And then
it was just the opposite because it'd be like Kobe Bryant.
Yeah.
Kobe Bryant.
Snarky will tell you the story. It was 2003. Matter of fact, the Lakers had just come off of the 3-peat, and the Lakers, that was a sellout at then Pepsi Center, Ball Arena, and tons of Lakers fans there. The Nuggets weren't any good, but I had to, as being employed by Kroenke Sports, I had to be yay for Kroenke and monotone for the Lakers. But I'm sitting there, and it was so, I had to bite my tongue every time. So it was Marcus Camby for 3.
Shaquille O'Neal.
That was Zach had to score a bucket. It was very quiet.
It was hilarious.
Oh, Snarky says it was hilarious.
Snarky.
She's yelling from the background.
That's when people were holding up the signs like, "Hey, Kobe, wrong court. Eagle County is." Yeah, I remember seeing those signs. There was a song released too, but
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about.
Chilling at the Holiday Inn.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Showing out my wife some chick that gets off at 10.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Each other with or without consent. One thing leading to another. Now I got indicted.
That might be all you hear ever of that song. Hearing him do that freestyle.
If you know, you know. James Rapidro, I love my Rams, but I dread going to Rams Raiders game. It's like a family cookout, but everyone wants to fight. I mean, it's still a Raiders town, right? Predominantly. I mean, obviously, it's such a transient town. There's so many people from everywhere in LA, but it's a Raiders town, right?
It is. It's becoming lesser of a Raiders town, I guess you would say, just because of the years. The years of them being gone again, and now with the Rams back. And I've had this conversation with Snarky a bit. She said, "There's no Rams fans." I'm like, "Yeah, absolutely, they're Rams fans," because I was a Rams fan before they lost the Super Bowl to Pittsburgh in 79-80, and then I changed real quick because like I don't like this. I don't want to lose in the Super Bowl. So
was that Joe Namath? Who was the quarterback?
No, was that fair? I think it was. I think it was Vince Ferragamo. I think that was Vince Ferragamo.
Okay.
So yeah. But that's when I changed the allegiance, and then but there's tons of Rams fans. It's the Chargers. I mean, and the Chargers are getting fans, I guess you would say. But they're from San Diego, so they get that. Whoa, nice putback by Russ. Up jumps the Russ.
Yeah, see, you're about 40 seconds ahead of me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. I just am shocked that Russell Westbrook made a good play.
Yeah, he did. He actually got a putback. Nuggets up by 6, by the way.
Oh, that was a pass. That wasn't a terrible air ball.
That was
jumper.
Do I get an assist on that one? No. And you were just talking about the Rams, and I'm thinking about the Cardinals too. What's wrong with St. Louis? They're like the Halle Berry of cities. They can't keep a team.
The Halle Berry. St. Louis is the Halle Berry of cities. So speaking of Dmitri, we just got the Cowboys schedule yesterday. We were thinking about trying to go watch a game. You said that Aikman says that they have a chance to win a championship this year. Do you feel disconnected from them because of the run of the last 28 years?
Yeah, very much. I mean, they're still my favorite team. I'll still say at the beginning of the year, we're probably going to win it all, but then I don't watch any games because I know we're going to lose horribly.
And you get so much shit. I mean, so much stuff.
I don't talk to anybody about football. They just know I'm a Cowboys fan. And the next day, my walls, I've locked my wall down before because I'm like, why? I'm not even saying anything.
Right.
I mean, your team's trash too. You have no reason to talk to me. And then when I say, okay, we have 5 Super Bowls, you haven't won one in 30 years. So you had ample time to catch up. How many of you won in the last 30 years?
Right.
Carolina Panthers.
James Rapidro. St. Louis is the J-Lo of the NFL. Yeah, Jen B. Nuggets and the Broncos and Eagles play. I think like week 5, we're gonna lose that.
I remember one of the last games I went to in Denver. It was the Broncos Eagles, and I think was T.O. playing? Whoever it was, the receiver burned Champ.
Oh yeah,
And
that was Theo.
Yeah, and then Champ like pulled up like his hamstring was hurting. Man, yeah, that's your pride.
I
It's not your
remember that.
hamstring.
I remember that. Oh yeah.
Hey,
That's when Doreen almost killed this man or this lady. Cause we were sitting up high and Doreen was eating peanuts and the shells were going in this lady's beer.
Uh-oh.
And I was just thinking, man, she didn't almost kill her. I was like, what if she has a peanut allergy or something? And Doreen is going to go to jail. Who's going to take care of me?
Was Doreen throwing them or were they just falling?
No, she was cracking them and then residue was going into this lady's beer.
I got the crunchy beer. What the hell is this?
That's like a Final Destination type situation. You're
Right.
just at the game drinking a beer, and then all of a sudden you go into anaphylactic shock because of somebody behind you having peanuts.
And the authorities would have blamed it on me. This white woman definitely couldn't have killed this other white woman. Ma'am, did he force you to put those peanut shells in?
That's right.
You mentioned St. Louis is interesting because you look at they've got baseball and what?
Hockey.
Baseball and hockey. Now, they haven't had basketball for years, which I would have thought that they might have been one of the cities that would be looking at getting basketball.
Weren't they the Hawks?
It's surprising because they're black.
Right? The Lou.
That's shocking to me because you're black.
Right, St. Louis.
It's the Lou. And then they had two football teams. They had the Cardinals, then they had the Rams, and
that's right.
That was such a great team. The greatest show on turf.
Greatest show on turf.
Was fun.
Yeah.
And yeah, Jen, Tia has already told me about that. So Tia probably won't mention anything about football all season unless the
Cowboys are
when the Cowboys get beat by the Eagles. I have no faith in them because having faith only sets me up for disappointment.
Well, hold on. Wait a minute. There's an altercation.
Kerfuffle.
Now, is it a real fight or an NBA fight?
It's an NBA. It's shenanigans. It's just argument. No fist throwing.
You remember when Chris Childs gave Kobe that 1-2?
I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember that.
Remember when Melo threw a sucker punch and then ran back 90 feet backwards heading Madison Square Garden?
That was so great.
Do you remember when Isaiah punched Rick Mahorn and he didn't even flinch?
Yeah.
You remember when Isaiah choked his coach?
I remember when Latrell did.
That was at practice. You talking about practice?
Practice.
Isaiah did in a game. It was after Karl Malone busted his eye open.
Oh.
And then the coach tried to calm him down, and Isaiah, I think he put his hands around him.
I remember that.
It looks like Gordon and Caruso are really going at it.
Beige rage.
Yeah, they're really going after it.
My favorite thing about the Latrell Sprewell story is that if you listen to his teammates tell it, like he gave forewarning. He said, if this man says something to me, I'm going to choke him.
Mm-hmm.
And they let him go for a bit. So when the choking started, they just laid back and said, all right.
Yeah.
They let it go.
Okay. Thank you, bro. I am getting food delivered.
Yay. How about it?
What's on the menu tonight?
What are you getting?
Soup. I don't know what kind, some kind of sausage soup. She was like, it's hot outside though. I was like, well, it's cold in here. I have on long sleeves. So yeah.
Sausage soup in Vegas. How hot is it in Vegas for sausage soup?
It was like 85 when I came in from doing the showing. So yeah, we're freezing.
Freezing.
Oh, James, not only did Rudy T get a concussion, they said like he was near death. Like, didn't his nose, spinal cord, something like Kermit Washington was banned forever for that.
Yeah, he got dragged. He got dragged badly in that situation.
It was like that video game. It's a video game called Sniper. So when you shoot somebody and you get a good shot, it shows like an x-ray of their body. And when the bullet is breaking their bones up, that's what I picture when I think about Rudy T, when he caught that, that haymaker.
Never underestimate the heart of a champion, though. he had to fight hard through that thing.
Yeah, he did.
I would have shot Kermit Washington after I got better.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's hot.
Where'd you order it from, D?
Doreen made it.
Oh, she made it. Oh.
Yep.
Okay. When you said delivered, I'm thinking that DoorDash was coming to the to the
No,
house.
she just delivered it from from the kitchen.
Okay, just from the kitchen. Okay.
Yep.
Very nice. Tia, I don't like to make my friends feel bad for rubbing it in their face how awesome my Eagles are.
Well, you gotta love that about Eagles fans. They're very gracious.
Yeah, the fans who knocked out Santa Claus with an ice ball, or who clapped for Michael Irvin for being paralyzed on the
lifeless
field.
Yep.
What else have they done?
They booed Santa Claus.
So not only did they knock him out, they booed him. They probably booed him first, and then was like, "Hey, you punk!" and pow, and then he's laying he's down for the count. What else is bad about Philadelphia?
Oh no! Don't go down that road.
Well, it is the home to the parking meter show. Have you ever seen that?
I have.
No.
On A&E, it's a reality show, and it's just
Parking
meter maids
wars.
being mean to people.
Oh.
And it's literally a TV show where you watch frustrated people try to get their car out of an impound lot. It's the funniest stuff. It is ridiculous.
I haven't seen that at all.
Jenny says those stories are not true. They are true. We saw
They're
Michael
very true.
Irvin get a standing ovation as he laid lifeless on the Veterans Field floor.
And I saw Santa Claus get carried out on a stretcher because he got hit in the head with an ice ball. That the real Santa Claus didn't show up, so they had to pick some random dude in the crowd to play Santa. So if that's what you have to tell yourself to feel better, that those fans are trash. Rocky made those kids run 30 miles through the city. What else? It's just a bad city.
I want to go there. Never been.
All right. I will take the side of Philly in this because I've enjoyed my visits to Philadelphia, so I will take that. I've got some good friends that live in Philly, so I'll take that side.
I do too. Our executive producer lives in Philly. That doesn't mean it's not dirty and dangerous.
There's a lot of dirty cities, but the food is good too.
The first strip club I ever went to was in Philly. It was
you told that story, yeah.
Yeah, it was in a house. It looked like a house, a gutted house with a stage in it. And it was called, was it Piccadilly's? And I think they're still open. They just changed locations. But you should have a Beehive meet up there at the Pick.
No.
Jenny, do you keep saying it wasn't the real Santa facetiously? Or do we need to have a talk with the people of Philadelphia about Santa Claus?
It's the history. It's in the lore. It's the, yeah. By the way, we are now tied 37 apiece in game 6 of the Western Conference semifinals, Nuggets and the Thunder.
You're like the ghost of negative news future.
Just trying to give you all the update. But there goes the Joker doing Joker things. Joker things.
That's another thing that frustrates me. To be that, apparently unathletic, and you're just killing the game. He looks like, what was that guy's name? Big Country?
Oh, yeah. Brian Reeves.
Right. But you say unathletic, which is, I get what you're saying, but then you look at somebody like Big Country and like Jokic, and they made the league. They're in the NBA, and they're playing at the highest level. They have a certain set of skills, even though they may look a little slower. They're more crafty. Especially, Joker is just amazingly crafty. He did something the other night, which I marveled at. And he's probably done it before, but I don't watch that much, Nuggets games like that anymore to really notice it.
Mm-hmm.
But he got the ball in the post and he didn't even grab it. He did a volleyball tap right back out, and it was so right on with a basketball. You do a volleyball tap with a basketball.
Yeah.
You don't know where that ball is going, but he didn't even hold on to it. He just came in, boop, tapped it right back out. And I think whoever caught it, I forget which player it was, but was able to distribute the ball back around. He's so talented. So hence why the MVP thing. So all right, Dave.
Yeah.
SGA or Jokic?
SGA.
SGA. Okay.
And here's the thing. Statistically, Jokic deserves to win it again. But he obviously doesn't care about the award. And there's obviously fatigue of him winning it. The only reason why Steve Nash won 2 is because there was fatigue in Shaq winning it. The only reason why Karl Malone won in the 90s was because there was fatigue in Jordan winning it. SGA is not going to be excited about winning it either. He's got the same kind of vibe as Jokic. He's just not as charismatically funny about his disdain for his job. But like, because what Jokic does is not attractive to watch, it's easy to look down on it. I mean, he's historically, he's got to be a top 5 center all time. Now, obviously, he doesn't play defense, but what he does offensively is so dramatic. And he literally, if you look at the value of him to the Nuggets, they're a historically good offense when he's on the floor. They're a historically bad offense when he's off the floor.
Mm-hmm.
Statistically, he deserves it, but SGA is the MVP this year. Give it to him, if only to get the PR off his back, because he doesn't want to answer those questions. He don't care.
Right.
So, but yeah, if SGA wins it, I will not feel like Joker was, besmirched in any kind of way, because SGA is a generational talent. Him and Anthony Edwards are going to carry the league for the next decade easy.
Well, yeah, those are the next 2 big, and Halliburton, I think. Yeah. Halliburton is up there too with the next generation, which is very, very interesting having to relearn, because again, like I mentioned, I have a very much a love-hate relationship with the league right now, so I haven't really paid attention to it as much as I used to outside of the playoffs. So when I see certain players and certain names, I'm like, okay, I remember this guy playing in college, or I remember hearing about him, but I don't know a lot about their game. So we're used to this time frame where you had Steph and Clay, and you have LeBron, and that was a good play. OKC up by 4 now.
On an alley-oop.
On an alley-oop. But you do have, Steph is retiring probably soon. I would imagine LeBron's going to retire probably next year. He should, at the very least, I think. And so you do have to bring in this new set of talent, new set of players to be the faces of the league. Is Luka going to be that? Who knows? Anthony Davis was supposed to be, to a degree, but he's always injured. So now you look at SGA, and you look at Edwards, you look at Halliburton, you look at players like that, and the Villanova guys like Brunson and whatnot,
and
they have their space as well.
What if the Pope? I'm not even going to start that. But you said Villanova.
Yeah, he went to Villanova. Yeah.
Dave and I were making jokes about it.
James Pedro wants to know, why did Denver fire their coach? I think he went off on the wrong person at the wrong time. I really do. There have been it wasn't surprising to those who follow the team closely, because there were rumblings that he had lost the team for months.
Mm-hmm.
And, after 10 years, I think, the message does go a little stale. Unless you're a guy like Popovich, who is so adept with the mental part of it that you can keep it fresh. But
he should have been choked too, just like PJ Carlissimo.
Yeah, apparently.
Who, Pop?
Yeah, the way he talked to people. And
oh, I thought you were talking about Malone.
Him? Oh, Carl.
No, Mike.
You mean Malone?
Mike Malone. Yeah. Mike Malone. Yeah. Well, the thing about Pop, what was interesting is that he was so much about his business. He did not like the aspect of having to be interviewed and being asked, these different questions. So he did seem, he did come off like a jerk, for quite some time.
Mm-hmm.
But deep down, I think either, I don't know if so much he saw the light or anything, but at a certain point he became lovable because he was that old grumpy guy.
He's Bobby Knight.
He also started making those political statements, and him and Steve Kerr. And if you agreed with him, you loved it. And if you didn't, you didn't, but you already didn't like him. So
that's true.
When he started speaking out for social issues, it was like, oh, he's not just the Bill Belichick of the NBA.
Yeah.
And welcome to the show, Perry. Perry, Lewis Bryant in the chat. Did you make your reservations for ERC? We'll wait.
Is Perry going?
He said he was going to.
Yeah, you better make the reservations fast before we run out of these promo codes again.
Yeah,
because I don't know if I'm gonna be able to go back and get any more from Excellence.
When I tried to get my friend Leah, Mexican Gentry, to go ahead and make her reservation, so I don't know if she's done it either. So I need to get on to people.
Okay. All right, that'll be good.
Greg the Curmudgeon. Uh-oh. We have somebody who I don't know who it is. Not yet. See how you do? He's probably mad at me because I wasn't able to call him back, and I'm not going to talk about what we were supposed to talk about.
You got to get in there. You got to make the reservations before we run out of codes again. But
he said doing it now.
Doing it now. All right.
Doing it now. I have a button for that.
Uh-oh.
We'll do it live.
I'm not going to use the the rest of it. We're trying to get some sponsorship dollars eventually. And
so, were you able to get more promo codes? How was it? How did that work?
I just emailed the resort. They told me off top because we initially got 25 spaces because they weren't holding rooms for us. They just said, okay, you can book it as long as there are rooms available, which is why there was no deposit, which was great for the trip next year. They said, okay, we'll give you the promo code and, booking subject to availability, blah, blah, blah. I don't think they thought that we would be as excited about it. Everybody would be so excited to book these rooms. So I have to go back and say, yeah, the 25 codes you gave us, they're gone. We need some more because there were at least 10 other people that we knew of that wanted to book rooms. And so I had to email back and forth with them, and they finally said, yeah, fine, let's do it. I had to get a hold of the right person because I was talking to one person who works in the groups department, and they were kind of slow. And I understand that because our trip is not for a year. They're dealing with a wedding this weekend or a business conference that they're doing right now. So I just finally said, okay, let me talk to reservations. So as soon as I reached out to reservations, they said, nope, no problem. Here's your code. And there it was.
Serbian Phoenix says Adelman killed the momentum when he brought in Russell and lost +10 from 3 attacks. Absolutely.
Look at that. Look at analysis.
Real analysis.
In the chat with analysis. That's right.
Thank you, Serbian.
Yeah. By the way, out of a timeout, OKC scores, and they are up by 4 with 4:44 remaining in the first half. Game 6.
See, if I wasn't on here with you guys, I would have punched a hole in the wall. So I appreciate you being my ballast.
Would you be watching?
Are for.
Right. No, I wouldn't be watching at all. I'd be outside painting the fence. When the Nuggets were in the finals against Miami, I fixed my door.
Yeah. Yeah. I can watch, like, okay. Full disclosure on my Laker fandom. The first round this year against Minnesota, I was excited. I watched, game 1. Game 1 was such a blowout. I had it on the small screen on the side. We got the big screen, so I had a split screen. I just shook my head. I'm like, what is going on here? I knew, I knew Ant was going to go off and all this kind of stuff. I didn't watch. I don't think I watched any other full game in that series because I said, nope. I'm at a point in my life where I'm not going to let sports stress me out like that. I'd rather be excited watching sports than stressed out. So when my team is playing, it stresses me the hell out. So I understand that. I get that. The playoffs is a little bit different story, but after that first game, it's like I can't watch it anymore. I can't see it.
I finally figured out how to turn my my camera around. Now you can see my jersey wasn't like Slovenian.
Right.
I thought you did it on purpose. I thought it was like where you hat backwards.
Here, I almost jinxed the Nuggets. I bought that jersey preemptively in 2023.
Ooh.
I know. I bought it after they beat the Lakers in the conference finals.
Oh.
Lewis said, y'all got any rooms with a Motel 6 rate? we got the cartel discount for you.
It's called Motel Says down there. Don't embarrass us.
Are you using the promo code? You got to use the code. I mean, it's still not Motel 6 prices, but it's cheaper if you're using the
promo.
You
got it. Quit acting like a little punk.
He's like,
so B, I'm not familiar with your relationship with Lewis. Can you fill us in? Those of us who are just like, first time I saw him was on 3 the Hard Way a couple days ago.
We've known each other since either kindergarten or first grade. I want to say first grade.
Texarkana?
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. And we both knew that we had to get out of there. And by any means necessary, I don't have my Malcolm button in it. I do have mine.
I didn't mean to be so fired up.
So I'm not going to get fired up about Texarkana tonight. But yeah, we've known each other. We were, it's bad to say, but we were like some of the smartest kids that looked like us.
Yeah.
Which ended up being smarter than some of the kids who didn't look like us.
Right. Every time I ask you a question now.
When you're black, you're never really lonely because there will always be a white person all up in your business.
I don't have a button to respond to that.
Don't make it become the battle of the buttons.
Jen, I got the arsenal.
Yeah, I won't even break out mine.
You damn lie. You know, damn chicken pox.
You gave me chicken pox in 3rd grade.
That's funny.
Should we play Kendall's new button for him?
Oh no, do I have a new button?
I haven't processed it yet, but my good friend Dave J on the mic cleaned it up for me.
Ooh. SGA from way downtown. Bang.
I'm sick of the hyphenated names too.
Gilgeous Alexander.
His jersey looks ridiculous, doesn't it?
That thing goes all the way around almost.
It's like a law firm.
Yeah.
As the Nuggets are now down by 8. Yeah.
They're down by 8. Yeah, Nuggets down by 8.
You have to connect this to Bluetooth. But let me set it up because today in Pedro Bryson show, you guys were talking about these almonds.
Pedro Bryson. James for Pedro on Station Head. Look him up. He's hilarious and great.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So these almonds I was like, they must be delicious. I need to go find some. I didn't today, but I am going to. But because of your, what's the word I'm looking for? Love, I guess, is a good word. Your love of these almonds.
James for Pedro on Station Head. Look him up. He's hilarious and great.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So these almonds I was like, they must be delicious. I need to go find.
You're watching us on YouTube at the same time. You're catching up.
I am going to. I was like, Jesus, am I having a stroke?
Somebody call the paramedics real quick.
Yeah, call Doreen. All right, so here is Kendall's.
By the way, hi Jen Glenn. I saw you step in. Hi Jen Glenn. She said, "Yay sports."
Hey Jen. But as you're looking for that, Jen B says, Dave, I knew the Nuggets were going to take the Clips because the Clips do Clips things.
Yeah, that was fun to watch.
That was a great series, though.
It was a great series.
Harden did the Clippers in because Harden doesn't show up for those big games like that.
No.
That's what happens.
Since Jen Glenn is here and she's such a sports fan, can you break down why Mario Ellie's 3-point shot was so effective in 95 finals?
She says, "Como say what?" Mario Ellie.
Can you tell me how many girls Vernon Maxwell gave HPV to?
I'm gonna start calling you Almond Joy. Yes, sir. Almond Joy. Look at you. I'm gonna start calling you Almond Joy.
So yeah, that would be your button tomorrow. So from now on, everybody, KB is Almond Joy.
I'm Almond Joy. Oh, thank you.
He's so almondy.
I haven't even had these almonds yet. James just keeps saying he's got the elote almonds. I haven't even had them yet. I'm waiting to have them.
Come on, baby, let me get the elote almonds. You can run them up here.
By the way, sports talk. Since we're not listening to the actual play-by-play, they keep showing Murray on the bench for the Nuggets, and I know he was questionable because of an illness. So I'm going to assume that said illness is keeping him out, but he's in now. He's back in, but he was out for quite a bit. So maybe he was just taking an extended rest because they kept showing pictures of him. So I'm thinking, okay, is this illness keeping him out for longer? But he's back in with the final 3 minutes in the quarter. So
are we allowed to play the audio?
I don't think so.
No.
Well, without the express written consent of the National Basketball Association, you can get got. So
you need implied oral consent.
So Perry just sent me a thing saying the promotional code entered is not applicable for these dates. What dates are you using, sir?
What date did you use? You got it. It's between the 9th and the 16th of
next year.
Next year, May 9th through 16th, and you can it's a minimum 3 night stay. So if you just want to spend 3 nights, you can spend 3 nights with us at Excellence Riviera Cancun.
That's what his ass did. He
up to
put
7
1 night in there.
He probably. How you gonna fly down to Cancun for 1 night and then fly home? I'm done. That's it. That's all I'm doing.
That's Texarkana type stuff.
James, when the Clippers get a ring, the organization will be broke. They've had a lot of chances to go with, with Kawhi and then with PG and now with Harden, but the league is so good now, and the Clippers are on the verge of having to reload again too, because how Kawhi can't play much longer. I mean, with all the injuries, he's not going to play. He shouldn't play much longer.
They're going to win though. They've got a good owner. They've got an owner that's dedicated to making them successful, so they'll get there.
And I thought the same thing when you look at Portland though. I thought Portland. I mean, they had Paul Allen for all those years. Rest in peace now. And they didn't get over the hump. I mean, they had that nice run with Dame for a bit, but
they made big strides this year. Big strides. They were almost in the playoffs this year. I mean, they went from being one of the worst teams to, I mean, they had like an 11-game winning streak at one point in the season. Like, they're on their way. They're
much better than they were. Yeah, much better.
Jim White chocolate. He's not calling you that.
White chocolate with a 3. There's Brown. I call him Braun, but it's Brown.
There's only one white chocolate.
He's today. Right. Well, wait. Dante DiVincenzo's probably the league's white chocolate.
Oh, he's black. Dante DiVincenzo's black.
James said Bomber ain't no Kroenke though. Kroenke is the most horrible to me. He was the most horrible owner because he didn't really take care of Arsenal. He didn't take care of any of his teams, in my opinion, the way he could have. I mean, he's rich by himself, plus he's Walmart people. Basketball doesn't have do they have salary caps? They don't. They do.
Who?
Basketball.
Yeah, basketball does.
It's just their money is guaranteed.
Yeah, they have a luxury tax that if you go over a certain amount, you have to pay extra. Yeah.
When you have all those billions,
yeah.
Why does that matter? I mean, this is like a little game for you anyway. So why not take care? I know if there was no salary cap in football, Jerry Jones would have 11 Hall of Famers on each side of the ball, which doesn't guarantee a championship because you still need chemistry. But
sure, right.
But still, I hate when owners treat this like a business, or at least letting us see that they treat it like a business. Especially like the Kroenkes, they have Premier League, NBA, NFL. Who else do they have?
I think that's it. By the way, Nuggets on a 7-0 run here. Aaron Gordon just walked in.
Going into halftime.
Yeah. Here they go.
The ladies of Denver are obsessed with Aaron Gordon. He is.
Is that right?
He is the guy. Women in Denver love Aaron Gordon.
Really?
Absolutely. He is the sex symbol of the city.
Shut up.
Yeah.
That's not difficult to be in Denver, though.
Facts.
Flavor Flav's like, I'm going to move to Denver.
Facts. I mean, Jamal Murray was for a second, especially when that IG video came out.
Well, yeah,
that's why he's sick today, though.
He was down on Colfax. That's a little cough.
Oh my God.
Jamal, you okay, man? I'm itching a little bit, but I'll be all right. Rub some ice on it.
We have an official review. Will it be a foul on OKC or not?
Kendall,
yeah,
you had interactions with athletes both as a PA and obviously as a host for all those years, backstage at summer jams, all that. Do you have any interactions that you can share that maybe are too hot for TV or or that were kind of funny?
I don't have any too hot for TV stories, but I do have. I've got 2 Broncos interactions that were pretty neat.
Not George Foster. We don't have to go there.
No, not that. Just from having both of these people on the radio on a weekly basis. At KS, we had during football season, we had Broncos on. And we had to pick, or we didn't have to pick. We had to. I don't know who was in charge of getting the players for us. I don't know if it was our program director or somebody else, but we had. But before I go into this, by the way, Nuggets are down by 3 with 25 seconds to go in the first half. and they have the ball. There's Murray down the lane. He's short, rebound off of Oklahoma City, ball back to the Nuggets, 19.9 remaining. So it's going to be very tight going into in the halftime.
I was waiting for you to do the Marv Albert if he would have hit. Like, yes.
And it counts.
Marv, despite his particular misgivings in some of the stuff that he allegedly did or whatnot, that's my guy.
Oh, wearing lingerie and biting bitches? Yeah.
Hey.
It wouldn't be so bad today if he was doing it. I mean, that's
Brown from way downtown, bang.
By the way,
yes, tied up 16 seconds ago. Hang on.
I love watching the national news this week and watching hardline journalists saying freak off.
Oh my God. That's
every
funny.
5 seconds. It's great.
That's funny. All right. OKC. Is that SGA with a 3 to end, or is that Dort? That's Dort. Lou Dort with a 3 at the buzzer, and the Thunder are up by 3 at halftime. Good game so far.
Yeah, you're 11 seconds ahead of me. This is infuriating.
Is it bothering you?
What announcer were we talking about earlier?
Kevin Harlan.
He's going to Amazon, or is rumored to be going to Amazon.
Okay, that's good. Because he needs to stay in the NBA. He needs to stay around because he's that good. So back to those stories now, since we're at halftime.
Yeah.
Back to the stories of athlete interaction. So since we had a Denver Bronco on to talk about the game in their life for a couple of years, we got to interact with them. So the first one of note was Deltha O'Neal.
I remember him.
He once intercepted Tom Brady 4 times in a single game.
That's his calling card. Like that should be, God willing, I'm sure he's still alive and kicking because I hadn't heard anything, but that is Deltha. But he invited us over to his home one time, and we just kind of hung out, and it lets you know that even though athletes usually most times have a lot more money than we do, they just have a lot of nicer things. Doesn't mean that they live as well. I mean, because you see dirty clothes around the house or something like that. It's like, okay, you would think you would have that somebody would be upkeeping the house or whatnot. But he had us over, and that was fun. I think we played pool. That was a cool thing. One of the other athletes that we had on the show was legendary Bronco Rod Smith, and
also from Texarkana.
Yeah, and so one time, Rod wanted to go out to breakfast with us. We're like, seriously? He's like, yeah, let's go out to breakfast. So we got off the air. That was myself, Larry, and Catherine. We got off the air, and we met Rod Smith at the original Pancake House in Greenwood Village.
Okay.
And it was just amazing just sitting in there with Rod Smith. Now, there are some people that knew who he was, but there were others that didn't really, know it was Rod. And this is actually, I think this was after he retired. So it was a couple years. It wasn't peak Rod Smith time. It was a couple years after he retired. But he said, yeah, let's go out and, and have a meal. And we had breakfast with Rod Smith, and yeah, he paid for it.
And then he tried to get you to sell coffee.
Right. It was about the coffee thing. Yeah, it really was.
So, I hope I'm not speaking out of turn here.
No, go ahead.
But Dmitri, you'll appreciate this. You were talking about Birdman earlier. We had learned early on that like the way NBA players got paid. I don't know if this is in all leagues, but at the time, like you get paid until the season's over, and then you don't get paid again until the season starts. Now, I imagine it might be different now, but when Chris Anderson, aka Birdman, was a rookie, he ran out of money like during the summer. And I believe Larry Ulibarri gave him money to survive until the season began again. Like they don't teach these young people money management skills.
I've never heard that story. I don't know how I mean, you might know more than I do, but I've never heard that story.
Yeah.
Wow.
And obviously when you're a rookie, you're not balling like that, but you should be able to last the 4 months until the season begins again.
Yeah, like, hey team, break my checks up. I don't want them all during this 9 months.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and let me see if I can share. I can't because his code, but we have another person confirmed for ERC. That would be Perry, aka Lewis.
Welcome aboard. There it is. I like
Got
that.
him.
We fucking got him.
Very welcome to the most expensive morning show in the history of broadcasting.
Yay! We need to get Perry listening to the show now, so he can catch him up on beehive isms and all the craziness that we do every single day. We got to get him on the show.
That is crazy. I think about it sometimes. We have all these jokes that we crack up at, and a random person would just look at us like we're crazy because they don't know the history.
Oh, I was hanging out with some beehive people, and somebody had said something with an innuendo, and I just out of reflex blurted colloquial talk, and they looked at me like I had a spasm. Like colloquial talk, and like, oh, you don't know and it's not worth explaining that to you.
Yeah.
Then they're trying to run because they're like, oh, there's a crazy white man just saying words that don't mean anything. We're about to get shot up. So
is that his manifesto?
Somebody in today with James, I forget who was saying it. I think it was Tabor and I know I saw it. It was Tabor and Lisa Boca who were trying to explain Stationhead because James and I were talking about, maybe hopefully one day, expanding the footprint of what we do in Stationhead, but being on YouTube does expand that footprint quite a bit.
Yeah.
But it's also to bring more people in on a day-to-day basis just so they can come and enjoy and have fun. And it is very difficult to try to explain to someone. So wait a minute, I have to go to this app, but I have to have Spotify or Apple Music to listen, but then I got to link it together and this, that, and the other. And I mean, Blast is much simpler, but that's still kind of the same thing because they don't know what is Blast Radio. It doesn't sound good. Is it gonna cause a virus on my phone or something? People don't really know.
Or is it another subscription? Yeah.
Is it another subscription? So it's, we have to, the good thing, one of the good things about AMP, and we always harken back to the good old AMP days. One of the good things about AMP is at least it had some marketing behind it, and the people who were Amazon did a decent amount of due diligence. They probably could have done a lot more, and they probably shouldn't have paid some people the money that they were paying them. I'm not talking about the regular creators. I'm talking about the other pros that they hired.
Sounds. Oh, you mean? Oh,
you know what I'm talking about. You know exactly what I'm talking about. But yeah, it would have been nicer to have, more of that energy, more of that, and it'd be nice to have that now. But we have to do it very organically with both Stationhead and Blast because people really don't know.
Well, I'm trying to totally get away from Stationhead, so I'm going to have to do it tomorrow with the abstract, right after the Kendall B show.
So I'm in the minority. I don't want us to get any more listeners at all. I'm happy with our community that doesn't judge us. And so, because when you get more people, you get people who are offended.
Well, and what happens with that too, if you get people who are offended, hopefully they'll leave. I mean, seriously, if you can't hang with the things that we do, then you don't really need to be in the community. Or because there are other, different, and we all kind of roam through different zones and whatnot. If my show doesn't do it for you, if Dave's show doesn't do it, Papi, your shows can, whether it's, anybody, then you can go somewhere else to anybody else's show and they might do it for you. I mean, there's a fairly good number of people that I see in other shows that don't come into my show for one reason or another. And it's probably not because they don't like the show. It's probably because they're working. Hey, imagine that. They've got to work. We can't listen to the show like that.
We all should be working, but for that 3 hours.
And I get that. But I also, I'm working during the show too. So I'm actually doing my job because I'm able to do so while I'm doing a show. And I'm so used to multitasking all these years. Yeah, I can write a story for my clients while I'm doing the show. I can, send an email or two if I need to. And then again, since I'm on the West Coast, I tell most of my folks, like, my business day, quote unquote, doesn't really start till 9 a.m. So, don't email me at 6:30 with some nonsense. But it happens all the time because I got a lot of people that work on the East Coast. So just wait, I'll get to it when I'm into my day. So give me my early part of the morning, and then we'll go from there.
But what I'm going to try to do is, again, go to Twitch, because I was talking to Jenny, was actually giving me some advice about it, because I hate Station Head. I hate the way that they title us all the time. Just the uncertainty of Station Head. So I have a domain. It's KRep Radio. So I want to put like links there so it's easier for people to find us, and hopefully link all of your shows too if you want to be on it, just because it'll be like a clearinghouse, and then one-stop shopping, any show you want. I just have to make sure that for me that Twitch is going to be a good alternative, because I'm so sick of Station Head.
Yeah,
it's going to stop working tomorrow when I try to do the show.
You know what's interesting about Station Head, and not, I don't know a lot about the background of the owners and all this kind of stuff. And when we do know that they really live in the K-pop territory mostly, which is where most of their listeners are, and we are a very small piece of what's going on. We're a big piece, but we're a small piece when it's really said and done.
With the favelas.
Yeah, but in this case, when you look at it, most of us have been on Station Head for almost 2 years now, which is, and Station Head's been around for a second. I mean, they were around before AMP even came on, and now they're on after. So they got something going, whatever it is, and it is, they have a sense of stability, and it's good to have. I mean, I like the features that they have with the chat and with the music and all that kind of stuff. The technical difficulties, any app. I mean, AMP had technical difficulties on quite a bit. We said we're amping now. We had all those things. Even so, even though AMP was great, they still had issues where some days you couldn't log in, or it would kick you out of your own show. Same kind of stuff Station Head does.
Depreciate you.
Depreciate.
So
Exactly.
if we had the ability to play licensed music on Twitch, would you consider making that change?
Yes, I would. If we had the ability to, I mean, I know Blast is that walking the fine line of somebody trying to go no, do the Dikembe, since we're doing NBA talk. It's because the shows are deleted after 24 hours. But as far as licensing goes, absolutely. And I mean, to a certain degree, you can do that on Twitch, because Twitch does have a DJ program. But the issue with the Twitch DJ program is that they have this long list of songs that you can't play. And if you play one of those, and you're considered in violation of this, that, and the other, and that's if you want to be monetized. If you don't want to be monetized, then it is what it is. But
you essentially have to confirm your playlist before you do a show, which I don't have an issue with. Because Gentry and I, we just run our miles mostly anyway. So
yeah, if you're just doing straight talk, then Twitch is great. It's not a problem. This too. Jen says the Kendall B chat is a Def Comedy Jam of Station Head. And I think that goes all day long too. I think it goes with everybody's shows that we wind up running into.
Do you have a plan for the abstract tomorrow, Rep?
Yeah, so couldn't sleep again last night, so I got up and started playing music and working. And I was like, I didn't even know I was doing the abstract until like 4:30 this morning. I checked my text messages, and I saw the message from Kaleo, and people started coming into the show. And I was like, well, they haven't heard the first 75% of this playlist. I'm just going to play it again tomorrow, and then add some stuff to it to make it make sense, or to make it into a show. So I have kind of an idea, but it'll be abstract.
And will it be are you going to be on Station Head or just on Blast?
I'll be on Station Head.
Okay.
Yeah, because I want the interaction. So
yeah,
that's the only bad thing about Blast.
Well, you have to pay for the interaction.
Yeah, and my Blast box isn't working. I've been using the app again, or the desktop thing.
Oh, you got to turn that thing in. You got to call somebody. Turn that thing in.
Maybe I'll just sell it to Dave. And then I'll get another one. The game is back on too. I just noticed.
James Rapidro told me in a DM yesterday that something about the Blast people don't want the chat. There's something about Blast ownership, and I couldn't quite wrap my brain around why they wouldn't. Are they afraid of bullying or hate speech or unauthorized sales? Because that doesn't seem to be a huge problem on station. Every once in a while, you'll get some, crazy lunatic or whatever, but it's rare. But I can't figure out why Blast would be hesitant to embrace the chat feature.
It may just be another thing that they don't want to worry about because Blast is decentralized. Station Head has. Everybody has to come to one place. For Blast you do too, but for Blast you have to actually buy a device to broadcast.
Yeah.
So that's what makes it kind of decentralized. Whereas Station Head, anybody could get on there. So I don't know, but you would think, as far as expansion goes, that would be something that they would do. But it's here. And the biggest reason I'm on Blast, I mentioned it before, is because of my stepmother. Because my stepmother, she's not going to grab Spotify, she's not going to get Apple Music, but she wants to hear my show. So I said, okay, well, I'll get that. And then there's other people that will listen that don't want to, that want to be passive listeners, like we've had over decades, Dave, in broadcast radio. There's so many passive listeners that'll never call for a contest, that'll never send a text into the station. They just want to turn it on, hear their song, hear the weather, hear what's happening locally, and then bounce. So kind of what Blast serves as a utility for. And that's been Social Audio Talk on
all right.
I remember I called the morning show one time, the only time I did, and got through. And it was when Tiger Woods was in trouble, when it first started happening. So I was trying to defend something, and then I don't even think it got on air. Larry was like, I heard like some rustling or something. He was like, Tiger, blah, 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 in a Perkins parking lot. And I was like, oh. And then y'all hung up on me. So I left it alone and I never called back again.
So can I give you some insight on the intern producer level?
Of course.
So the way that Kendall and them taught me, and I'm sure the other producers, was like, you have to fill out the caller. And I'm not saying you did this, but you have to fill out the caller and see, like, first off, are they going to be charismatic? Do they have an opinion that's new and that matters? So sometimes you would pretend to be the host as the caller, like, yeah, what you got to say? And then if it was good, you go, hold on, I'll put you on with them. And if not, you'd be like, all right, thanks for the call. And they would never actually get into the host, because there's a lot of people that call that feel like they need to be on the radio that don't. And we were the guardrails for that. And again, I'm not saying that was you, but
well, no, I'm thinking that because I was kind of arguing my point, and then there was like a line change or something, or so would like you guys listen while the producer was on the phone with the callers, or did you have that ability? Because it was definitely Larry. It was like he F somebody in the Perkins parking lot on her female day.
Well, on the days that Larry, Kendall, and Kathy didn't have an intern or producer, Larry was the closest to the phone, at least in the old studio. So he would vet the calls.
He would answer the calls and put people on hold. So you may have talked to him, and he may not have put you through. Yeah.
He yelled at me and hung up at me. So
it's quite possible.
Be right back.
We're back, folks. After halftime, OKC up by 1, and not anymore. The Nuggets now up by 1. We're back and forth with 10:28 remaining in the third quarter. There's Lou Dort from way downtown, and he's short. All right. Back at basketball.
Jenny said, you can get a simple chat and create a group. There's a few folks that do it already on Blast. It's a lot of fun. So we've done that before. Like we'd be on Blast and then use Twitch for the chat.
Yeah.
But I would love to be able to like use our video feature on Twitch as well as play music. So that's what I want to try out. Maybe I'll do a test tonight or over the weekend.
And yeah, you can do that on Twitch with the music. Again, that you just have to
vet your playlist.
Vet your playlist. That's the only thing you have to do.
I'll just play Miss Fat Booty 20 times. And then
Bring it
the Miss
back.
Fat Booty show.
Over and over again. Over and over again. By the way, there's the cruise cup.
Nice.
From the Beehive cruise.
Mine's
You got yours too.
Here we go.
Mine's at work. I keep
Nice.
it.
I almost started crying because mine just says Papi on it.
Uh-huh.
I was so touched. And not like the way Diddy touches
real
people.
estate on it.
I could be any type of Papi, I'm not
Right.
put in a real estate corner. I can't be Champagne Papi, that's Drake. I can't be Motown Papi, that's also Drake. Big Papi is
Papi. That's
David Ortiz.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm stuck with real estate Papi, so but oh well.
That's all right. That's all right.
And
so yeah.
No, I was just gonna say if y'all need a cup from D Cup Customs, this is what my lovely wife made for me.
Yeah, put that out there. Absolutely.
I'm gonna throw the thing up here.
Please do. You should.
We have QR codes.
Oh, Tobes. Tobes is in the house. Yay.
He's out running the streets getting people pregnant.
Did you get that doggy pregnant?
Oh.
How's the doggy doing?
So we dropped the doggy off at the Denver Dumb Friends League and 3 puppies. And she was really well behaved. But she seemed to be taken care of to the point that we think she was at least in somebody's home at some point. So going to give them an opportunity to find her owner. And also the puppies need to nurse with the mama. So, after 8 weeks, if, they're done nursing and nobody's claimed the dog, we'll go get the mom. At least that's the plan.
That's what Snarky and I thought when we saw the picture that that dog looks like she came from a home and she just got lost or somebody abandoned her or something.
Gosh, I hope not.
Yeah. So
but she was really skinny. So I'm wondering if she had maybe ran away or something because she was really skinny, but she had also been recently groomed. So hopefully she wasn't neglected, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Who neglects a dog and have them groomed though?
Right. But she was only half groomed because her lower, it was weird. She was only groomed from the neck and it was weird. It was weird because she was matted in her tail and stuff. But
she had a shag.
She had a
Dallas dog.
She had a mullet. You want to say something, Coach?
Hey, Tobes.
All right, I'll let you down. Go see your mama.
Oh.
Let me get back in this chat. Oh, the lovely Jenny has sent a link. I better check on the phone because, I have to do Twitch. It's and I started off loving Station Head when everyone hated the fact we had to move from AMP. I was like one of the biggest cheerleaders for Station Head. And everybody that I cheer for, they end up disappointing me. Kevin Hart. Who else got in trouble? Cowboys. I mean, Kobe got in trouble. I forgave Kobe. Yeah, so Station Head has done it too. So I'm just gonna stop believing in people.
Jen says Diddy Papi. Oh my gosh.
Diddy. Diddy was she's calling me Diddy Papi. Diddy was one of those people that I looked up to as well. And yeah, I should just stop talking. I don't look up to Kendall anymore. I don't look up to Dave. I don't look up to people that I like anymore because I would hate to see Kendall on the Shade Room.
I mean, look what happened when you called Kaleo young Quincy Jones.
Yeah.
Quincy Jones died.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm a Black Cloud Papi.
And you start calling him young Donald Trump.
In other news,
that concludes our show for tonight, people.
By the way, Jamal Murray is having a show. Having a game. Yeah. Jamal Murray's having a game, even though he was a little sick. He's got 18 points so far on the night.
You think MJ's flu game was hangover? That seems to be the consensus. It wasn't a poison pizza, but he was hungover.
Who knows? It's that was a great game though.
Yeah.
Gosh,
that's why I love these athlete podcasts now.
Oh, they're the best.
All these stories are coming out.
They're the best.
Yeah.
And they have no filters. They've gotten old. I mean, yeah, it's great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Jeff Teague is my favorite.
Jeff Teague is great.
Jeff Teague, okay.
Because he's telling all the dirt.
Yeah.
I'm looking at
Lou Dort putting the Thunder back on top by 2. Plenty of time left. 9:30 left in the third quarter. There's Joker doing Joker things in the middle, up over Chet, and we're tied again.
Tia, I would stay on Blast. The thing I would do is I would disconnect my Twitch from Blast because you can't run video and the connection that Twitch has with Blast. I've tried that before. So I would disconnect it from Blast so I could run it independently. And I don't have my button.
Ooh, titties.
Michael Porter Jr. Clank. And OKC up by 3 with the ball.
Michael Porter Jr. is my new J.R. Smith. He's the most physically talented person and just a disappointment in life.
Oh my God.
Meme when he's like who was that? It was Golden State. Like the last few seconds of the game and JR held on to the ball and LeBron trying to tell him to shoot.
By the way, he just hit a 3 though, so they got him right there. They're tied again. So Michael Porter Jr. he's trying to do some things tonight. Chet Holmgren.
This making the game enjoyable for me. Just it's kind of like when you place a bet on a game.
Yeah.
Like teams you don't even care about, but you're invested in the game because you have money on it. So we're doing this pop-up and it's actually making this soft ass game enjoyable now.
This is an important game. What do you mean soft game? This is important.
I agree. I appreciate the distraction.
Well, we have issues though.
Uh-huh.
Well, Dave has issues watching his team though, so we have to distract him.
Yeah.
That's true. Let me ask y'all something about, because I said I had a couple things to complain about.
All right.
About the NBA. Here's my next one. The proliferation of multiple jerseys. Like these Nuggets jerseys that they're wearing tonight, I know it's for marketing purposes. I know it's to sell more product, but it's like I'm used to having, you got your home and your away uniforms and maybe one alternate. Now these teams have like 7 uniforms. It's ridiculous.
It's like Oregon. I think it's a soccer culture because you see they have like their sponsors like really small up here, but they're still having sponsors on their jerseys. And now they have all these different all these different jerseys. They have the in-season tournament.
Yeah.
Like soccer. So I think they're slowly adopting that. And that's why, they see soccer is making all this money doing this. So why don't we do it too?
It's a major investment for the teams too, because every time the team changes their jersey, they change the floor. So like each NBA team, for the most part, they have a different hardware, at least a different, middle court logo when they do it. So I get the Nuggets. I get this uniform with the 5280 and it's the throwback to the Rainbow Mountains. I get that's what it is, but that's a lot of stuff to keep up with, because if you're just halfway paying attention, you have to really pay attention. Like who's actually playing? Because you don't really know about the uniforms anymore.
You know who's really pissed off about that?
Who's that?
Old Willie, who has to put that floor back together again after they take it apart.
Yeah, they do.
Like, God damn it, I'm sick of this. We need to go back to 2.
Right. Kendall, I have a similar gripe, but on a different item of clothing.
Mm-hmm.
It drives me nuts that dudes are wearing shoes that don't match the uniform.
Soccer again.
I don't like seeing the bright pink shoes on a guy in a Kelly Green uniform, like Tyrese Halliburton. Like, it doesn't match.
Yeah.
I don't want to go like back in the Jordan 1 and ban, the red and black shoes, but they got to match. I don't know.
They don't though. Again, it's the soccer culture. They always wear neon green shoes with whatever the uniform is. So
I don't like it.
Let them cook.
What a pass by Alex Caruso to Isaiah Hartenstein. Holy crap. OKC up by 4. I'm up by 3, sorry.
I think another reason I don't like OKC is because the league was better when Seattle had a team.
Yeah, it was.
I miss the Sonics. Yeah.
Did you see they recently tried to retire Gary Payton's jersey? And he said, no, thank you. I never played in Oklahoma.
Yeah, smart man. By the way, Isaiah Hartenstein having a game with a reverse dunk just now. What is happening here? What is going on? Jamal Murray.
Second favorite story about Gary Payton is he had 2 babies in 1 month, and one was named Gary Payton Jr. and the other named Gary Payton II. And they were from different women. He also called white chocolate a cracker once. That was pretty fun. Jason Williams is good on podcasts as well as a guest. He doesn't host one, but when he's a guest, he's really good.
We're tied, folks.
T is hearkening back to Toby.
Yeah. This is a good game now. We're tied up with half of the third quarter gone. So we'll see who can close this thing out. Is that Hartenstein again with another dunk? What is going on here?
It seems like this game is speeding by too.
Yeah. It is. Well, the third quarter is definitely speeding by because everybody's playing pretty well offensively right now.
The 11 people watching saying, not for us.
Hey, they knew what they were getting into with this. We're just sitting here watching basketball and talking junk.
I wish we could close the doors.
Close the doors. Close the
$20 from each of you right now.
Mm-hmm. And now you just can't leave. Yeah,
we can make $220 right now.
Do it.
So this isn't really basketball related, but since I brought soccer up, it's amazing to me how the most valuable teams in the world or the owners that make the most money are NFL. And there's 17 games now. But in soccer, you have them playing their regular season. Then if you're in Champions League, you get these other games. And then there's like 2 or 3 different in-season tournaments. And you would think they would make more money than anybody with all those games they play. But how do we do this well with 17 games?
Well, Dmitri, do you think it's part of the thing is that there's so many soccer leagues and organizations? Obviously, the Premier League is the top, but every country's got their league, right? And their teams. Is there too many options out there?
Maybe, because in London, I mean, how many teams they have just there?
Yeah.
There's
and then all the different levels and all that stuff. Like,
yeah, but I was just thinking for like La Liga or for Premier League, I would think those teams would be more valuable than NFL teams. And plus, it's a global sport. Outside of the NFL, I mean, outside of the US, except for the couple of games they play in Brazil or Germany or wherever, nobody cares about American football.
No.
That's why the other leagues, like, what was it, the World League?
WLAF, yes.
It folded because nobody gave a crap. So I said crap. I didn't say the S word. I'm trying to get better at this.
Look at you. I think that the NFL, and with the NFL and the NBA and American sports in general, North American sports, it's all about branding. And a lot of these other leagues, especially like you mentioned, soccer, it's about their branding, but I guess it's more of a since for us in the US, soccer as a sport is not as popular. And I think outside of the United States, I think it's more, even more so, a fashion statement or an identity statement to, even if you don't watch football or if you don't watch basketball or if you don't watch baseball, you'll find some random kid in Germany wearing a LeBron jersey, or maybe an LA hat because it's LA Dodgers or whatever, or New York Yankees because it's an identity thing. And I don't think and I think part of that, mentioning all the money because of the NFL, it's that licensing, it's that merchandising that gets out there because these people see the videos of somebody's wearing a football jersey or a football team or whatever on a TikTok video or a music video. I think that's how it gets out there too. I think that's part of the reason why it's much more why the money's there more so than in the soccer teams.
So if you see a Dodgers hat in Germany, it doesn't stand for Liechtenstein Athletics, it's still the regular Dodgers hat. It's just
correct. Unless they are breaking the copyright. That's
Right.
Nuggets take the lead, by the way, with 3:34 remaining in the third quarter. They're up by 2. Game keeps going back and forth.
Jenny said the second quarter was grueling.
Yeah, it was kind of bear down. We'll probably get that in the fourth quarter too. That really is kind of what happens in the NBA now. You kind of free flowing in the first and third quarters, and then especially the fourth quarter, if you have a decent defense, the defensive kind of lock in and you do more things. Although the Nuggets, what are they like? Are they the third highest scoring team in the league in the regular season? I think something like that.
Which makes sense because they're running people at altitude. Hypoxia will set in and blah, 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 or whatever y'all used to say it there.
Yeah, all that kind of stuff.
I think we have a request.
Oh.
Do we?
She was doing
Airstream
laundry
Queen.
and didn't get to see Toby.
Oh, he went to bed. Give me a second.
He went to bed?
Toby's like, I can get up in the morning.
Right. Toby's like, I gotta pack a lunch. I got things to do on Friday.
I got
Good
kids
night,
now.
Right. I'm going to sleep.
You gotta be down at the plant.
Oh,
Toby worked at the Purina plant.
Toby's working 410s. Ah, there he is.
He's like, my Monday is my Friday.
He was full on snoring.
Oh,
Your public is awaiting you. Veronica said, fluff his hair.
oh, yeah, fluff it out, yeah.
Say hi to Michelle.
Hey, Toby.
Oh,
Hey, Toby. Who's a good boy? Hey, Toby, who's a good boy?
that's Kendall.
Oh, yes. Sorry, you had to be awakened.
He's like, what the hell is this?
So I
right.
got a question for you, Dave, since we're at a timeout.
Yeah.
So you had mentioned about the other dogs this morning so when you were walking Toby, where were the other dogs, and did Toby like bark at the other dogs, or what happened there?
So Toby is the worst like hound dog ever. Toby doesn't smell anything. He's lacking in complete self-awareness.
Okay.
Sorry, Tia. I don't mean to besmirch his name. No, it was me. We had walked a full lap and I didn't notice this dog on the first lap. In the second lap, I had looked and some like a movement had caught my eye and I was like, oh, it must be a squirrel or something. And it was like, oh no, that's a dog. And it was behind like an electrical box. And I was like, oh, that's odd. And it's just laying there. So like, oh, maybe it's injured. So we walked up to it and then you quickly noticed there were 3 puppies nursing on this dog.
Mm-hmm.
And, I tried to get close and she started growling a little bit. Oh, Dmitri's baby. We had the baby. You're being one up, sir. So okay, I'll tell. Well, if you want me to tell the whole story since we're in commercial break.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh man. So I call Veronica and I'm like, hey, so there's a dog here and it's giving birth. So like you should call animal control. Maybe they'll come scoop her up. And I'm wash my hands of the situation. And then I start thinking about it. I'm like, nah, the dog looks like the dog was scared. Who knows why it's out there?
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm gonna go get it some food. So I go home and I'm a few blocks away. So I go home and I put some chicken in a little bowl and I get some water and I take it to the dog. Here, this will keep you alive until somebody of authority can come and get you.
Mm-hmm.
And I start walking away. And a little angel on my shoulder, little devil's like, you jackass, like, go back and get that baby. So I found a box and put a blanket in it. It was actually an American Idol blanket I got from a KS promotion back.
Oh my God, that's funny.
And so I went back and there was this older Mexican lady at the park that was looking at the dog by the time I got there. And she was speaking to me in her broken English and I was speaking to her in my broken Spanish, but we had a understanding that I wasn't like stealing the dog. Like I was trying to do something positive for the dog.
Right.
So she was like, thank you for taking the dog. And then she's like trying to chat me up and I'm like, I got to get to work. Like this has put a damper on my day. And so I took the dogs back home and V-Rod was working from home and she, fed it again. So it had gotten not only all that chicken, but it had gotten a second full meal and some water and passed out and stretched out in the blanket and kind of relaxed. And then the puppies relaxed. And then V-Rod put them in the car and took them to the Dumb Friends League. The dog seemed to be in pretty good health, but they're going to, check her out. They've got a vet and they're going to make sure the puppies are good. And the plan is, you want the puppies to nurse with their moms for at least 8 weeks. It's basically the only way to feed them. Yeah. And if the dog is not claimed within the 8 weeks, we'll go back and get the mom. The puppies should be easy to adopt, but if the mom isn't, we're going to go back and get her.
Okay. Right.
Hey, Faye, I'm glad you didn't hear this. Dave was going to leave those babies just out in the...
Well, it was a crisis of conscience, though, a couple of times. Like, no, you're not that person. Let's not do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
yeah, I'm glad you can't hear it, little girl.
I was to be honest, I was waiting for V-Rod to take the lead. Like when I called her, I was almost like, you care more than me. Come handle this. And when she was like, well, I'm working too. I was like, oh, I have to be a good person too, not just her. So
yes.
You should have said, oh, that's okay. There's a nice, another nice Mexican lady in the park with me. And she was just, and then you would have said, why you're break smoking?
I'm on that corner, that same exact corner. A pit bull came out and attacked Toby once.
Oh my God.
Remember I told you that story where I had to kick the pit bull in the face?
Yeah.
I felt bad about it. That's the same exact corner where I had to, and I don't have the dexterity that I once had. So it was a real low kick, but it was high enough to kick that pit bull in the throat.
Get out the way. Kick and run.
Faye, Auntie Tia said, hey.
Oh. By the way,
Dmitri, which baby is that?
The only one that's left is Faith.
Hey, Faith.
Hey, Faith.
So yeah, you have we're going to call that corner third base because that's your hot corner, right?
It is a hot corner for sure.
All right, FIFA, you need to get down. You do? Let me turn this off so they don't hear me grunting.
All right, Kendall, go get a cat or 6.
Oh, man. No, see, I was wondering if Snarky was going to bring a cat in here, but we don't need any of that. We don't need any of that.
They're not allowed in the man cave, right?
They really aren't, but she might now that it's brought up. By the way, the Nuggets up by 5.
Yay.
With a minute left in the third quarter. And they had a nice little run going on. And turnover. Murray causes a turnover, so the Nuggets will get the ball back. The chance to extend the lead going into the fourth quarter. By the way, if the Nuggets win, Game 7 is on Sunday at 3:30 Eastern. It's 1:30 Mountain Time.
On Sunday?
On Sunday, yes.
Good. I'll be doing the Indy Marathon on Station Head.
So you won't be watching the game?
Hell no. Absolutely not. I'll be playing indie music.
I knew Snarky was going to bring. Here she comes. She's bringing the cat in.
Oh,
is it Chloe?
No, she's bringing the baby in. She's bringing Nico in.
It's the B lottery too. The Black Kitty lottery too. Oh. Hey, Snarky Mac.
She can't hear you.
Oh yeah, that's right. Kendall's got headphones on.
There's Nico.
Hey, Nico.
Say hi, Nico. Hi, Nico. Say hi to everybody.
Oh,
that's
Nico's
the baby.
Pretty.
So Kendall brought in a cat and Snarky was back there. I should tell Doreen to come in and peep, and then you can call V-Rod, and we'll just keep trying to one up. I'll put on my Darth Vader helmet. We'll just keep going.
He wants to get down. Okay, hold on.
V-Rod will slice me in the carotid artery if I put her on camera right now.
Bye, Snarky. Thank you.
Oh,
is right. Nuggets up by 10 going in. Oh, now we got the other cat in here. I tell my wife. Chloe, hold on.
Chloe's in for revenge. She's finished the job.
Chloe went behind the wall here, so we got to
have headphones on. Like, let's be honest. Do you kind of wish something would happen to Chloe? Are you kind of you still harboring resentment?
No.
Nothing too bad. But do you wish that Nico would let Chloe know what's up?
No. Chloe did jack up my leg though, pretty nicely.
Yeah. You don't ever look at her a little sideways and kick her a little bit with the non-gout toe?
Chloe is Chloe's the most lovable little cat. Even though she jacked up my leg, she actually got out today. Because we have a doggy door for Regina, the dog, and Chloe likes to try to run out. So I'm in here working, and all I hear is, all kinds of filth and flooring coming from Snarky. And I'm like, what's going on? She said, come get Chloe, because she just brought it out outside. But we got her back in. Did you get her? Got her.
How many people know that that's a Bill Cosby reference?
Filth, flooring, and filth? Probably not. Are you about to knock over everything?
We're old.
Rep, there was a night when I was doing the Saturday Night Street Party on KS where I did that verbatim on the air.
Hi.
I did like the whole bit verbatim on the air.
Hi. How are you?
We
Say
didn't
hi.
care.
Say hi. That's Chloe.
Hey,
That's
Chloe.
murder mittens right there.
Good Lord.
Hey, Chloe.
She looks dangerous.
Yeah.
Oh, she'll mess you up.
She's got one coke nail.
Yeah. She'll mess you up. Hey, lady.
Snoop Cat.
That's right.
All right. You had enough? Yeah, she's had enough.
All right. Don't make me do it again.
Yeah. All right.
Watch, Kendall's gonna be like Nick Fury tomorrow with his patch.
The Avengers Initiative is on the way. Exactly.
We all started showing each other's pets.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Yes. We got 6 more rooms. 6? Snarky said we just booked 6 more rooms for the trip.
See the power of this YouTube show.
Oh my God. So y'all better book. If y'all want to go, y'all better book. Yes. Jen, she is a Maine Coon. She's mixed with something. We don't know exactly what, but she's not all Maine Coon, but she's definitely mostly Maine Coon.
Those get big.
Yeah, thankfully she's not all Maine Coon because she's not gigantic yet. She's 2 years old, and we're hoping that this is about she just really started putting on weight. Because they actually, Nico and Chloe just had their operations several months ago, so both of them are about to probably get a little secretary spread, I guess. But yeah, I love them both. I love all. We had 4 cats and a dog in the house, so it's kind of cuckoo, and we got to feed them and everything, but it's fun. Yeah, those are the babies.
I'm reaching out to Mexican Gentry right now to tell her, hey, you need to.
Mexican Gentry. What is the origin of Mexican Gentry?
She's our partner, our real estate partner. We got our licenses at the same time, and yeah, we've just been together since then.
Nice. Here we go. Fourth quarter action. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander got 24 points. Jamal Murray's got 22. They're leading the respective teams. And the Nuggets are up 8, I think it was, going into the fourth. So can they hold on to force a game 7?
Jen Glenn would be a Jamal Murray fan.
Why is that?
That IG video, Jen Glenn would be a Jamal Murray.
The IG video. Oh,
live on IG while Lady was fully servicing him. He was very proud.
You know what's interesting about society now is like, because if that had happened in the 80s, like he'd have been probably excommunicated out of the league.
Excommunicato permanente.
Permanente. Yeah, he'd have been gone. But yeah, exactly. There it is. That's the piece right there.
Wait for it.
Wait for it.
Excommunicato permanente.
Gloria in excelsis
Deo. That is so good.
Excommunicato permanente.
All right, I won't play the whole thing.
I'm the only one who doesn't have that.
How is that possible that you don't have it?
I don't know. I didn't think it was gonna. Yeah, I didn't think it was gonna be that popular when I was kicking Chantel out of GRU.
It was perfect timing because it was Lent, and then the Pope passed, and then we got a new Pope, so it was perfect timing.
Just notice how dark it is in here.
Darkness.
Oh, the tables have turned.
All right, here we go. Fourth quarter action. Nuggets are up by 8. Can they hold on to force a game 7, or will Oklahoma City make another comeback? Here we go. OKC short on a 3. And there's Alex Caruso. He's short. And Denver's most eligible Murray with the rebound. And we got a tie up. Or Gordon. I said Murray, not Murray. He's Gordon actually with the rebound.
Gordon lives in an industrial warehouse and he put a basketball court in it. And apparently he does these crazy parties.
Really?
And
Free golf?
well, here's the thing. So at the infamous Aaron Gordon parties, which you can only get into if you have an invite, it's open bar. The drinks are free.
Mm-hmm.
But the chicken tenders, he charges for the chicken.
What?
He charges for chicken tenders.
Shut up. Stop it.
Free open bar. Chicken tenders come off that Venmo.
Where does he get the chicken tenders from?
I don't know.
I bet he has a deal with Cane's and they give them to him for free.
Yeah.
And he's selling them for like $3 a tender.
Mm-hmm.
He's making money.
$40 a year.
That's crazy. By the way, Jamal Murray just hit another three. He's going off tonight. Nugs up by 11.
Lots of threes out here.
Yeah. He's 9 for 8 from the field. Got 25 points.
No illness for Jamal.
These are the Nuggets are right now in the non-Jokic minutes, so
That's terrifying.
Yeah, they need to extend this lead and hold on to it because Joker's not on the floor.
And also, it's the scary Russell Westbrook minutes too.
It's the Russ minutes. Russ will either shoot you into the game or shoot you out.
Right.
One or the other.
Hurricane Russ.
Yeah, I really want to know what his illness was. Was it the flu or?
Oh, Michelle, how dare you be right and practical?
What happened?
He'd need a liquor license. Well, yeah.
For Murray?
Then give the
Not
chicken
Murray,
away.
Gordon, yeah.
What kind of why are you selling the chicken? You made $37 million this year.
Joker made like what, 51?
Yeah.
Million?
Yeah. In a year.
Wow.
That's like when Michael Jordan was underpaid all those years.
Mm-hmm.
And then he made like $40 million that one year. And I forgot, was it Rex Chapman? He was like, I made $400 a year. His game checks were $400.
Right. But
that's wild.
I remember they did an economic analysis when LeBron left Cleveland the first time, and they were saying like his impact on being a part of the organization was over $1 billion a year. So like even paying him $100 million a year wouldn't be adequate for his impact, just economically.
Mm-hmm.
I actually did a report in one of my business classes on that same thing, but Michael Jordan in Chicago.
Yeah.
Like every game, how much money was generated just by that. The people who couldn't get in, the people at the bars around the stadium, and then all the cocaine they got after the game, and
allegedly. Uh-oh, here we go. Oh, and Nuggets with a defensive play.
Oh, please, it is rollingism. Am I still on Bluetooth? All right, let them know.
Lakers in 5.
That was my good man.
Alex Caruso wide open under the basket and Aaron Gordon with the block. Nuggets are up by 9 still. So in the non-Jokic minutes, they are maintaining a substantial lead.
I still would be more comfortable if they brought his big ass in.
I'm sure you. Well, they don't want to wear him out. That was the criticism on
Game 6 of the divisional round, and you're 8 minutes from being eliminated. Bring his ass in.
That was a criticism on Tuesday that that coach left Murray and Jokic in for too long, and they got tired.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I can see why. If they're going to continue to score here, then they'll be okay. Now, if OKC cuts it to 3 or something, then your logic definitely weighs in very heavily.
I guess my logic is though, like I would prefer bringing Jokic and try to get this to 10-12.
Yeah.
Instead of waiting for OKC to come back, which they will because of how explosive they are and how terribly defensively the Nuggets are. Like they are going to cut this lead, and I don't say that as a cynical fan. Like it's just the way that the flow of the game.
It's facts.
Yeah. So, I don't know.
Roland was calling to tell me how much he likes that song.
Oh,
that's a great song. Lakers
So
in
he's
5?
about to come into the show. He was
So-
like, I didn't even know you guys were on.
So D, be honest. What percentage of it was you, and what percentage of it was Jen Glenn?
It's 50-50. That's how we are.
No,
We're BB
no,
and
no,
CC.
no. Come on, creatively.
50-50.
50-50? You came
You know,
up with the same amount of good lines as she did?
You know, Gentry doesn't know anything about basketball or sports.
Well, she's funny. She's hilarious. So some of the lines had to come from her.
No, it was 50-50.
Yeah.
And let me give you the story, like how it got to where it was. But the man of the hour,
Don't tell me name, Alfred.
Rolandism, everybody, has joined the show.
What's up, bro?
So
Roland.
it was after our 3 the hard way, because you know Doreen dips out immediately. I don't even get to hit end stream and Doreen is gone.
Mm-hmm.
So Gentry and I, we were talking about the show, how we were pleased with it. And I was like, we should write a song. She was like, I don't want to, it's blah, blah, blah. It's going to take too long. I was like, no, we're in a zone right now. We can write this. I wrote something else. And I think I wrote Creole Leo in like 4 minutes.
Wow.
So we started talking and she went into Gentry director mode. Because I wrote this whole first thing. She was like, no, old school players don't talk like that. You need to rewrite it and blah, blah, blah. So then I go start listening to Curtis Mayfield and Bobby Womack. And then I write out the first part. And then she starts putting the other things together. So I think we probably did on those lines 50%. She did half, I did half.
Yeah. When you guys get together and get rolling, it's absolutely hilarious.
Yeah.
It's a great combo.
Let me see if I have it in here, if I have to.
By the way, Julian Strother for the Nuggets having a bench game with 10 points, keeping the Nuggets ahead.
There was a lot of talk that Adelman should have played him in lieu of MPJ.
Michael, yeah.
Because Strother was a strong 3-point shooter in the regular season until he got injured.
Mm-hmm.
And though he's young, you got to give those minutes to somebody who can put the ball in the basket, and 3-point shooting is something that the Nuggets lack. Look at us sounding like a real broadcast team.
Look at you. Well, Jokic is back in, and Murray's now taking a breather. But 7 minutes left. There is the Nuggets have an 11-point advantage.
I like that.
So now it's down to 9. SGA. It's going to be SGA or nothing at this point for Oklahoma City, I think. He's going to have to, if they come back, it's going to be because of him willing them in. It looks like.
So, Rolandism, what was it like kicking it with George Mikan?
Oh, my God. Not George Mikan.
Well, he was a kid when I was graduating, but yeah,
I know he saw you as a mentor.
Rolling it's 97-88. Nuggets up by 9 with about half of the fourth quarter to go.
Okay, and since it's a commercial, if you guys want to hear it, like to hear it, here it go.
Ooh.
Let's do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have Lakers in 5.
I'm sitting here on a try not to Tuesday, sipping on a glass of yak. I just got home from walking from one end of Crenshaw to the other. While I was on my traveler's journey, I saw this fine young thing and she gave me a little smile. I said, girl, don't be smiling at me like that. Your breath still smells like Similac. She said, Daddy, you don't know who you talking to. They call me Young Thelma and I make it do what it do. Now, I ain't never had no young tender rhyme at me. I asked her where she was from, and she said she had just moved here from Oakland. She asked if I would show her around. I said, no, but I'll show you this straight. You know what I'm talking about. She said, Daddy, you crazy. I said, show you right. And I'm about to get even crazier. When I get you back to the sugar shack, I'm gonna give you this work. You're gonna be happy to be alive. I'm not gonna sweep your ass with 4. I'm gonna give it you in 5. They call me Big Rollin', the king of the wood. If I don't say yeah, it don't happen in this hood. If these young things have problems, Big Rollin' will fix it. Girl, you look so good, I'll put you on a plate and sop you up with a biscuit. Always finessing, curves caressing, steady undressing. Lakers in 5. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Let me bum a cig. titties real big. Lakers in 5. Have you eaten good? Come over to my hood. You know the state come with this wood. Lakers in 5. Your ass fat. I see the kitty cat where your drawers at. Lakers in 5. I'm confessing, your hair gon' need pressing. Peace and blessings. Lakers in 5. Ooh, ooh, ooh. That's a big coat. I saw you on the boat. Let me see your throat. Lakers in 5. It's my duty to please that booty. Let's go to the snooty. Lakers in 5. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I don't cause drama. I like Obama. Don't call my mama. Lakers in 5. You're only doing half. You don't understand the math. You give your grown son a bath. Lakers in 5. Ooh, ooh, ooh. You need to stop. I'ma call the cops. Let me see that wop. Lakers in 5. Ooh, ooh, ooh. My name is Rolling-ism. You're about to get this jism. Girl, you look like Shirley Chisholm. Lakers in 5. Girl, you about to feel it. I'm about to kill it. Is that my mama's skillet? Lakers in 5. Sorry you can't stay. Gotta be on my way. Gotta do the drink of the day.
Love that song.
Man, that is so good. It's such a vibe.
That last part is like the end of the Different Strokes theme. Through the world. Joker from way downtown, bang! Off the timeout, Nuggets up 12.
Are you going to give us a double bang, Mike Breen, at some point?
I guess it just depends. Depends on the situation. The bang bang, do it like that.
Kendall, did you ever get a chance to do any play-by-play?
I did, actually.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to do in school. I went to Syracuse with the hopes of being the next Bob Costas or Marv Alpert or whomever. But I realized that the competition for that at Syracuse was extremely high because that's what everybody was there for. Not saying that I couldn't have done it, but the way to get your chops at Syracuse was to do play-by-play at the Jazz station, which campus had 2 stations, actually 3. And the Jazz station was the main sanctioned Syracuse station at the time. The station that I wound up working at, that was the 100-watt flamethrower Z89 that had all the music and stuff. That was not necessarily, it was an officially licensed station, but the school really didn't have much to do with it. So all of the Syracuse University sports were on the campus station. So everybody you had to go and try out, and then you had to do sports casts for a year. Then you had to like shadow, and then hopefully eventually, if you were good enough, you could actually get on doing Syracuse basketball, Syracuse football, or Syracuse lacrosse. And I'm a patient person, but I didn't have the patience to wait for 4 years to get that chance to do it. So I said, I like playing music and I like making people laugh. So I'm going to do the DJ thing instead. But out of college, I did get a chance to do a couple of basketball games for the CIAA tournament, which is the Division II, HBCU Division II. And I also did sideline reporting for a couple years for North Carolina A&T football. Yeah. I did that for 4 seasons, which was pretty fun. I was the young buck, and the 2 guys that were doing the games, they'd been doing it for like 50 years, and they didn't want any part of me because I wanted to bring, new ideas and innovation, and it actually make it sound like a broadcast, because it sounded for years when you turned it on, it was in the 1990s, but it sounded like it was in the 1960s. It sounded really bad. So I had all these ideas, and they were kind about it, but they really didn't like it up front. So, but once the station manager said, hey, we're bringing in our guy, we want to make it sound good. We're going to have somebody on the field because you guys are way up in the booth, so we can hear what's going on in the field to give you even more sound. I did that for 4 seasons. it was pretty fun. I do miss doing that.
You told me that you mic'd up the crowd once and they almost had a conniption because they didn't know where the sound was coming from.
Exactly. Yeah. They didn't know because like I said, it sounded like it was in the 1960s because you had these big, here's an example. They did the, it's called the Circle City Classic, which I think they still do. I don't know, but it's in Indianapolis. Huge HBCU football game. And back then, the Circle City sold out. So you figure it was in the old Indianapolis, the Dome, the Hoosier Dome.
Mm-hmm.
Like 45, 50,000 people. And they did the broadcast one year. A&T was there and you couldn't hear the crowd. Like, okay, I know you could see it on TV and you could not hear the crowd. So clearly they didn't have it mic'd up. So when that got on to doing it, I said, okay, we're going to put a mic out here so we can hear the crowd. And then when I'm on the field, if I'm not talking, I can put the mic on the field to a degree because I'm far away enough from the action, but you can still hear the crowd. And they just like, they were blown away. It's like, it's too loud. So, so I had to turn the crowd down to a minimum so that they could hear. And I manipulated the sound quite a bit. The first blush I was doing it might have been too loud, but then after a certain point, they got used to it. So that, yeah, get the crowd involved, do that.
Mm-hmm.
So it was fun times. I missed those days. And I guess had I stayed in Greensboro, maybe eventually I would have elevated to doing the play-by-play for that. But, Denver was calling and, the rest is history for that.
Yeah.
Butterfly effect.
Yeah. There you go. We got WNBA action coming soon. This is good.
I need to get this more. I need to get the Aces games this season because they're extremely reasonable price rise and they're really good. So
they get really good squad. Yeah. Couple times champions until last year, right? They lost out. They didn't win last year. New York won last year.
And then maybe Asia will see me in the crowd and be like, hey, come to the back after the game. And I'm like, Doreen, I gotta go make this money for us.
Lakers in 5.
Lakers in 5. Wow.
Get this Chisholm. Chisholm.
So the Nuggets are up 14? The Thunder have missed 12 straight 3-point attempts, which again goes back to my thoughts about the 3. Like if you get a good 2, shoot a 2. You're down by 14 points. Get 2 points instead of trying to get 3. That is, I hate this about the NBA and the fact that they just rely on this shot so much. I understand the analytics, but I need somebody to unanalytics this thing and let's go back to actually just scoring a few 2s to get us back in the game instead of shooting. Well,
it's going to take a team that does that, right? Because it's such a league of following what's winning in the moment. So, it'll balance out at some point, I believe. Or they're going to have to fundamentally change the court layout or the way defenses are allowed to coverage. I get the sense Adam Silver doesn't seem to care.
He doesn't. I know he doesn't. Yeah.
As a matter of fact, he defends all the 3-pointers, but you're right, because especially in the regular season, it's unwatchable a lot of nights.
Oh yeah. I can't
threes. Yeah. For 2.5 hours.
I can't do it. And this is part of the reason, except until last night, why Boston was struggling because they couldn't hit. And OKC was struggling tonight because they've shot all these threes and they're not hitting. Alex Caruso just made one, but it's still a 13-point lead. So it's going to have to be a major run for OKC to get back into this game. But the 3 is the ultimate equalizer because you shoot.
Our white needs to guard their white. One job.
Is that Brown on Caruso? Is that what it is?
No, there was nobody on Caruso.
There was nobody.
Brown was the closest one.
Oh,
what a pass by Jokic. Sorry, I'm late. I'm behind.
Right. You're right.
I want to show y'all something.
Yeah.
So, well, and the people need to see this too. So Adam Silver. I don't know if regular people
looking ass.
Yeah, the people in the chat, I don't know if they know who he is. So let's take a quick look at Adam Silver. So can y'all see him okay? Do I need to make it bigger?
You can make him look
right. He's got a condition, right?
I don't know.
Human beings don't look like that.
Let me take the chat away, and so y'all can see him, right?
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna switch it. To me, he looks just like the sweet genius.
Oh, damn.
On the Food Network.
That's hilarious.
And I keep telling people this, and no one would, co-sign it. But yeah, the NBA commissioner is a sweet genius.
That's hilarious.
The more you know. I took it off the button. I don't feel like.
There you go. Yeah.
Now I'll throw the chat overlay back up.
Adam Silver is upsetting to look at.
I think he's a good commissioner, though.
I do too, but Rolanism looks like Voldemort. I agree.
You leave that man alone.
He who shall not be named.
That's Adam Silver.
But he's very likable, and he's trying to grow the game globally, and he's doing a fairly good job at that, and he's likable, and he hasn't had major scandals like David Stern had that we know about, at least. So,
or like keeping Chris Paul out of LA or the other LA.
Well, there's that. The Lakers were set back for a couple of years after that thing. That was something.
There is no sympathy that'll ever be gained to the Lakers.
I know.
Fix has been in with you 0 times. Ask a Sacramento Kings fan if they feel any sympathy for the Lakers.
I mean, but that's Sacramento. Nobody likes Sacramento.
True. That is very true.
Oh, the Kings. Man, that run with the Lakers and the Kings for 3 years. Those playoff series were amazing.
That damn cowbell was ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, people don't remember. People only remember like the last series when Sacramento was supposed to win that series, and they had Game 7. But what people don't remember is that at the beginning of that Lakers three-peat, Sacramento took the Lakers to 7 games, if I'm not mistaken, in the first round.
Right.
In 2000, was it 2000, 2001? They were playing them well then.
They were the upstart team, yeah.
Yeah. Every year they played in the first round, and then they played in the second round, and then they played in the conference championship, and that was a whole progression. That was prime NBA drama when that was going on.
Did they have Chris Webber then?
That was Webber's team.
Okay.
Yeah. That was.
Still haven't read that book I bought from the podcast.
Yeah. From from Shanti's podcast.
Yeah, and I got the one that he autographed and had his baby pictures. Haven't cracked it open once. I'm ashamed of my. We should use that for the Snarky Mac book club. The Chris Webber book. It's only like 1,000 pages.
That's 1,000 pages. Tia had thrown out some ideas in the book club chat. I don't think we've made a decision on the next book yet. James, that's funny. Jen, is he vegan? Are you saying that he needs to get some protein, Jen? Jen B said, is he vegan? He needs a little vitamin action, Adam Silver, apparently.
He looks like he's got a condition. I don't know if he does, but it's never become public, I don't think. It's not been a thing. He's 62 years old, been a Jerry's kid every day of his life. Like, this is all just one elaborate Make-A-Wish.
Oh my gosh.
The thoughts expressed by Dave J.
They let him do a Make-A-Wish in 1962, and he didn't pass away. So just let him keep coming back.
Jeez. 14-point lead here. 3:11 to go.
That's only 4 3-pointers, 5 3-pointers.
14. Yeah, it's only 5 3-pointers. Yeah. Well, it's only 3 3-pointers to make it interesting. You got plenty of time to get that. If you can cut it to 6, what's that? Is that 14, 9? What's my math? If you cut it to 5, it gets interesting. But that's only 3 3-pointers.
Let's make this nice and boring and move on to Game 7, and the Nuggets lose by 46 points.
Well, here's the deal. See, and this is where I get frustrated with NBA teams too. When you have a lead like this and you're still shooting threes, stop it. Give me 2 points instead of trying to shoot a 3.
You know what? They do not run clock at all. You're right. I was watching that in the New York Boston series. Like,
yeah, run the damn clock.
Mm-hmm.
What is wrong with people? OKC just scored against down to 12, 2:30 left.
He picked them clean.
Yeah, they've gotten that play a couple of times.
Is Joker time. Another steal. Look out. SGA to the basket and score again, down to 10. 2 minutes left. Now it's dangerous if they get a couple stops and make a couple threes. It's dangerous.
Burst pipes.
This is what and here's what I'm talking about. Give the ball to your main guy. You got Joker here. Almost got another turnover. Joker, use your size. Get in there. There's a foul.
That's what she said.
Ah!
2-minute warning, ladies and gentlemen.
2 minutes remaining.
2 minutes remaining.
Oh.
How long is
Mexican Gentry is here?
Hi, Mexican Gentry.
Hello there.
She is DIY in real estate.
Ooh, titty.
Hold on. Oh my God.
So
how long has the guy been doing the PA at the Nuggets now?
Kyle Speller.
Kyle's been there forever now, right?
Yeah. I mean, he's good.
Kyle is very good.
Phenomenal.
I can have some public address announcer, not so much jealousy but criticism because I've done the job. But Kyle's good at what he's done, what he does.
He's a man of the Lord.
He's a preacher man.
Do you know how he got started, or you know how he was discovered? He was doing PA at Manual High School.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. And word got back to the Nuggets like the best announcer out there is doing high school games at Denver Public Schools at Manual High School.
That's cool.
And there are certain people it feels like we're born for a job, and he fits that mold because he's got the same energy that the legendary the guy in Detroit had for all those years.
Yeah. Mason.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Mason, Detroit basketball. Chet Holmgren with a and one after Joker made a couple of free throws. So OKC trying to cut it to 9 with a minute and change left in the game. Minute 53, so almost a full 2 minutes.
Airstream Queen, why am I nervous about this game? I didn't even know what sport I was going to be watching.
Well, and I told Leah about the that if she wants to go, she needs to make a reservation because like our 6 or 7 people have already taken up slots.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm trying to guilt her or shame her into making a reservation before she can't go. Or she has to pay full price.
Oh, you have to pay full price. You can always go, but
oh my goodness.
Yeah, that was turnover. Yeah. Okay, so you got the ball 9 down by 9, 145 left. SGA bringing it back out. SGA driving in. SGA down the lane, shooting it back out to Caruso. Over to Williams for a 3, short. And Murray with the rebound.
And Daydreamer is here now.
DD's in the house. Russell Westbrook closing the game. And he just scores. Russ with the score. Russ possibly with the send it back to Oklahoma City score. Look at Russ.
Did you see him trolling the OKC fans early in the series, saying that it was louder when he was there?
Yeah.
I love that.
That makes sense.
Leah, do you want to come on camera and plead your case? She just said, eek, no full price. So you probably want to hurry. So if you want to come on camera and
Daydreamer says, it's not safe. I'm leaving again.
Okay,
you've got 9. It's a 9-point lead, and the Nuggets are at the line with a minute 10 left.
Yeah, that's too close for comfort.
My other old man complaint. NBA complaint. In my day, when you had a 15-point lead in the fourth quarter, you were going to win that game.
Yeah.
Starters would be sitting down.
Yeah.
Wait. Isn't this good that teams can come back?
Well, okay. I think it is because it benefits you on other. I'm just saying there was a sense if it was your team that was up by 15, then there was a sense of, oh, this is over. I can relax in the fourth quarter.
Oh yeah.
As long as time to time teams did come back in the fourth quarter because they weren't shooting threes like they do now. But like you said earlier, you hit 2 or 3 threes in a row, and then all of a sudden it's back down to manageable. So I guess it is good because you can make those comebacks. But again, I say to those teams that are up by like 15 points with 3 minutes to go, run your offense, run some clock, get a good 2 instead of trying to shoot a 3, and you maintain your lead. Just do that. And take it home. Don't just shoot the first thing you see. But that's old man basketball talking. Having watched it for years.
It does feel like watching the playoffs this year that every game is either, tooth and nail, down to the wire, or it's a 50-point blowout. There's been no in between. There's been very few games. We're probably going to end up here with like a 7 to 10 point game. There hasn't been a lot of those.
Mm-hmm. Joker at the line. He hits one to put the Nuggets back up by 10. Again, if the Nuggets win, Game 7 is in OKC on Sunday on ABC at 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific. And it's looking that way right now.
Instead, listen to Dave J on the mic on station
and V-Rod on doing the Indy Marathon.
That's right.
I'll probably have the game on and have you on at the same time. Caruso from deep. Caruso hits a 3. They're not dead yet. And Nuggets take time. It's an 8-point game.
Jenny said, I missed it before times in the NBA. Me too, when it was more physical. And people say that
you know what? No,
the old people aren't as skilled as the new players are, but the new players aren't as determined, I don't think, as the old players were.
Do you remember the dark ages of those New York Knicks 74 to 76 games in the 90s? Do you remember that 94-95 year without Jordan? And then those Knicks Heat games that were, finals in the 80s? That was terrible slogging basketball.
And this isn't with the flopping and everyone just jacking up threes.
Well, right.
And if you breathe on somebody, you get a tech.
Let's not act like that was great too.
I think we pine for what we used to know to a degree. I think for some of it, which were those long-term rivalries, and even though some of the games were knockdown dragouts, there was high drama involved in a lot of those games because the participants kind of stayed the same over a couple of seasons, and people were throwing bows on the court, and you had Jeff Van Gundy holding on.
That was so great.
Yeah, that was amazing. But there's also parity now. There was a 30-year run where the NBA had 8 champions.
Mm-hmm.
8 franchises won championships in 30 years. And now there was never a time in that NBA where Toronto, Milwaukee, and Denver would win championships. Are you kidding me? Now, that may not be great for the league. Maybe it's best for the league to have it New York, LA, Boston, Chicago every year. But it seems to me like it's at least a more interesting competitive product in terms of the ability for a team to get out of the mire. And I mean, Oklahoma City was dead in the water 4 years ago, and they trusted the process, stacked up all these draft picks, and look at them now. They're probably going to win the championship.
I think it's good for the league to have the teams rotate in as being good teams, because you never want a franchise to go forever being bad, because then attendance goes down, and you have the possibility, will they move, or will there be retraction? You don't want that. So you want to give fans the hope, which is why they expanded the playoffs, which is why you have the play-in from 7 to 10 to give that 10th place team at least a fighting chance. I mean, and look at Minnesota. They were in the quote unquote play-in, even though they were the officially the 6th seed.
Right.
But now they're in the conference finals. And I think it's better. I mean, granted, I like my name brand. I like my Lakers being there. I do. Mm-hmm. That's just my squad. But you want to give other teams a chance, at least a fighting chance, to say, okay, yeah, we can win this. And to bring it all full circle, that 3-point shot is now the ultimate equalizer for a lot of folks.
Gerardo brings up the bad boys, the Detroit Pistons of the 80s. I have a quick bad boy story. Rick Mahorn was probably the toughest of the bad boys, and he became a broadcaster later on. And remember meeting Rick Mahorn and shaking his hand. And, oh, where are you from? Oh, from Denver. Oh, that's that bullshit. just walked off.
Oh my God.
Like, nice to meet you too, Mr. Mahorn.
Daydreamer says when the Nuggets beat the Sonics, that was the second best feeling in basketball world for me. When that the upset, the big upset. That was huge. That was one of the bigger upsets of the entire decade in the NBA.
You know,
not the biggest.
What was crazy about that series is games 1 and 2 were on NBC, and then games 3 and 4, because that was when that series was only 5 games.
Yep.
Games 3 and 4 in Denver, most of us didn't see it because they were on pay-per-view.
Pay-per-view
in Denver, at least.
Yeah, right.
So most of us didn't see games 3 and 4 of that series. We did see game 5, but yeah, most of it. And I remember John Elliott was the hype man in one of those games in the pregame, and that was a big deal. But most of us didn't see that game.
You had to listen to it on the radio. Was it on KOA? Probably. Jerry Schimmel.
Mm-hmm.
He's a great broadcaster.
Jumanji. I fanboyed when I first went to Clear Channel. Yeah. I fanboyed on him big time.
I love Jerry Schimmel.
I do too.
Nuggets win 119-107. We have a game 7 situation.
That was loud. Let me turn it down. It's because I wore the jersey.
The Nuggets, only NBA team since 2019 to play 7 games in the first 2 rounds. What, 3 times? They put up some stat. I'm trying to read.
I asked Leah if she wanted to come on camera. She put on my wood, but I currently still got my towel, wrapped the hair, looking hot. If you just got out of the shower, they probably want you to come on camera right now.
No, don't do that. No.
The whole thing is going to get wiped out now because they wants to play.
You can play 2 seconds, right?
Up to 5 seconds.
There you go.
It's up to 5 seconds before it gets taken down.
I was thinking about that with Kaleo's songs because he got them copywritten.
Yeah.
So if Kaleo plays This Hoe Got Roaches on the WFC podcast, he could like get taken down, right? For playing his own song on his own show.
You know, that's a good question. I'm not sure.
Unless he clears it before or
okay.
He has to clear it with himself. He has to send himself.
He has to let YouTube know that, hey, this is mine. You
my people, aka me.
But me.
I was just curious about that since he went through the copyright process.
Wait, not Kaleo would file a cease and desist against Kaleo, and then it would get taken down. That's how it would happen. Oh boy. There it is.
It's such a good song.
Yeah. I love that.
That is.
So we got a game 7 on Sunday, and we could have 2 depending on what happens with the Knicks and the Celtics. I'm assuming they're gonna play that if it's a game 7 on Sunday. I hope they don't wait till Monday.
The Knicks need to take care of business.
Yes, they do, because they don't want to have that in go back to Boston.
Yeah. And by no means fans of the Celtics, but they showed why they were champs.
They do. They are going to play that game on Monday. Oh no, they should have that on Sunday. Why? If the Knicks lose tomorrow, game 7 of the series will be on Monday night.
Wow.
Why would they do that? Put it on Sunday, for goodness sake.
Gentry said new players aren't as savage. Thank God. Aaron Hernandez was a new player.
Yeah. Daydreamer says if our boys go to the next round, we're getting swept by the Wolves. See, you got to think positive, because Dave, you had said that Oklahoma was going to wipe the floor, basically.
Yeah, I'm shocked that they didn't get swept in this series, to be honest.
The Nuggets are playing good ball right now. And so they, if they can maintain it, and here is the ultimate factor, the X factor for Sunday. It's not even Oklahoma City having home court advantage, because I think home court advantage is kind of overrated now in the league because of the 3-pointers. But the Nuggets have experience here getting to a game 7, even though they've gotten there and they've lost a couple of game 7s in the playoff runs, but they do have that experience. Oklahoma City really doesn't. So it really does depend on getting in these clutch situations. Will the young OKC players finally make that jump and say, okay, now we're here? And as Daydreamer says, Minnesota is no joke either. Minnesota's got a good squad too, and they got to the conference finals last year as well. So Don't sleep on them. But Sunday should be a good game.
Yeah, I don't agree with him that the Nuggets will get swept by Minnesota. I think that'd be a tough series.
I don't either. No. That'd be
black.
I don't think anybody's getting swept anytime soon. Just again, because people can go cold from 3 now. If you are shooting threes like that, if you go cold and you have a bad game, then somebody's going to steal that series.
DD says I'm being facetious.
Facetious. Yes.
Roland said because they're young and hungry.
They need to be young and hungry on Sunday. Even though the home court I don't think means as much, they need to take all that energy. The role players got to play excellent, and they have to make sure that the Nuggets big guys, Jokic and Murray don't go off. And and Gordon can have a Gordon game and have that too.
Yeah. I feel like the key for the Nuggets is to not get off to a slow start because OKC lacks the experience, but by having the crowd at their back, if they're going to have the momentum, they're going to have the energy, and if they get off to a fast start, it's going to be hard for Denver to recover. So, they've got to have a first quarter like they had tonight, where they can jump out to a 7 to 10 point lead and build themselves a cushion, because those momentum swings are so big in a game 7. And you're right, they do have the experience, but if they jump on you quick, it's hard to recover from that.
Yeah. James, remember OKC 2010? Wait, which squad was that in 2010? I can't remember.
Was that let's see, 2010?
Was that the one they went to the championship? Or was that a little later on?
Well, 2010 was a Lakers season, wasn't it?
2010, wait a minute, hold on.
Y'all see what it's like being on here with radio people? I'm just over here like,
I was butter laying into the bone, taking me up. Tight me.
OKC 2010. Yeah, that was, oh my God. That was Westbrook, Durant, Kendrick Perkins, Serge Ibaka, Thabo Cephalosha. What you know about Thabo Cephalosha?
Zoom tight.
Was Harden on that team too?
Harden was on that team too.
Man.
Durant, Harden, Ibaka, Kendrick Perkins, Nate Robinson, Russell Westbrook.
Nate Robb.
That was the team. The Thunder against the Mavericks. Because that was the year the Mavericks swept the Lakers out of the playoffs, and then that's what it was.
The Mavs had a crazy run those playoffs.
Yeah. Huh. OKC 2010.
I can't stand Kendrick Perkins.
Me neither. He is a terrible broadcaster.
The more you know.
Where's your neck, Kendrick?
Leave Kendrick alone. He's funny.
Oh, big back.
Because my back is loaded up with snacks and
different foods. He slimmed down a little bit, hasn't he, since he's been in the league, or has he gotten more gordo?
I think his suits are bigger.
His
so
suits
it
are
may look like
he looks like
smaller.
He looks like the shrunken head dude in Beetlejuice right now. Shoulders and just his little milk dud on top.
Oh my God.
Like John Coffey. Take my hand, boss.
That's right. They killed him for their love.
I cried so hard at the end of that movie when they played that song again, whatever the song was. And it was pretty much an empty theater. It was Doreen and me and some Japanese people, maybe 3 or 4 rows up. And I'm in there screaming, crying. And you see these Japanese people looking around. I'm trying to hold my head down. It was touching. It was that movie, and when the dog died in, what's the Will Smith movie with the vampires?
Oh, I Am Legend. Is that the one or no?
I Am Legend. So those 2 movies, it's why I can't go to the movies to see those kind of movies anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And if they have an I Am Legend 2, I'll never see it.
There is an I Am Legend 2 coming out. We got a comment from Nikola Kalabich, who looks like a legit basketball fan. Well, of course, the MVP is Joker, like I've been saying the whole show.
That's Joker's cousin.
Joker's cousin. Well, here's what's interesting, and I love this, and the NBA is playing this so well.
Yeah.
Because we know it's going to come down to Jokic and SGA.
That's right.
So on Sunday, no matter who wins the game, if Oklahoma City wins on Sunday, they're going to be the number 1 seed and they're going to present SGA with the MVP game 1 of the Western Conference Finals. Has to be. If he is MVP and they don't win, then it'll just be a press conference or something, and they'll have that. But if it's Joker for whatever reason, then they'll probably wait until game 1 of the Western Finals, because the Nuggets will actually have home court advantage, because the Nuggets are the 4 seed. Minnesota is what, the 6 seed? So yeah, whoever wins on Sunday will have home court for the Western Conference Finals. So they'll announce the MVP probably right after the game, and we'll know what's going on.
Yeah,
Dee, why are you so mad? How did Kendrick Perkins? How's he the reason Joker didn't win the third MVP?
The year Embiid won it.
What did Kendrick Perkins have to do with that?
He must have had a vote, maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Nobody care. Yeah, I hope not.
Yeah. I don't begrudge SGA if he wins it this year, but you know, the stats don't lie.
SGA is at, like you mentioned earlier, Dave, he's had a great season. The stats do point it out, and usually it is, you know, Jokic has gotten his, and that's great. Like you say, he doesn't really care about it. And I think most of the voters that are there will probably give it to SGA anyway.
Denver in 7.
Just doesn't have the same ring to it, does it?
Dun, 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 dun.
Not the same as Lakers in 5.
Don't call my mama. Denver in 7. Maybe we should let everyone go now.
Yeah, we got a game. The game's over. We can people can, if you haven't eaten dinner like I haven't, we can eat dinner. And
I had my soup right here. I went off camera and it was
sausage soup.
But he has more in the Instapot that's still warm,
Nice.
so I'll be all right.
that sounds good.
Well, this was fun. Thank you guys.
Why don't we before we leave, why don't we promote ourselves, what's coming up here in the next couple of days, because we all got stuff going on.
Well, the most important thing is the Kendall B show, everybody. So scan that QR code, or just scan the QR code. Unless you're watching on your phone.
That's rough if you're watching on the phone.
I think I have another. Yeah, go to this site.
There you go.
That's the QR code again.
Damn you, QR code. More Janet Jackson in the morning. And yes, your 10-minute version of Do I Do. I'm playing that.
Yes.
I'm going to play that whole thing. So that's 9 Eastern, 8 Central, 7 Mountain, 6 Pacific. Station Head, Blast Radio, or Twitch. Tune in and join the fun. We'll have a good time. And then
immediately after Kendall,
doing the abstract tomorrow for Kaleo.
I will be sitting in for
Kaleo.
Dave, is your show tomorrow or next Friday?
Sunday, I'm doing the Indy Marathon at 1 Mountain Time.
I was thinking about get to know show.
Oh, Get to Know show with James Rapidro is next Wednesday at 11 Pacific.
Okay, so that'll give us time to forget all the stuff he was talking about today.
That was great today. If you missed James Rapidro's show today, it was phenomenal.
Yeah.
He was like, and then I found out what my blood type was when I was 4 and blah, 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 blah. So we got a deep dive. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah. And I'm glad that James had me on too. That was fun. So yeah.
That's all I got.
All right, y'all. This was fun. We should do this again sometime. Got to find another time where we can all do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, D, for the idea and for the facilitation.
Well, thank you, radio people, for being on here with me and making sure that it was as smooth as possible, because I'm sitting here again like
She mofo butter laying into the bone, jacking me up. Tight me.
Airstream says, I'll have to replay. You really don't. If you don't like basketball, you got the exciting part. So
she means James's show, not this disaster.
Oh.
There's no disaster when you were able to bring animals into the show. If animals were on the show, we had a good time.
That's right.
Yes.
It wasn't a disaster.
Toby and Nico and Killer Chloe.
And all that. Yeah.
It's not a disaster.
That's ignorant.
That you said that. All right, I'll be hitting buttons all night. So thank you guys for hanging out with us. I'm about to go eat this delicious soup.
Enjoy.